So, hello everybody, welcome to Dungeons and Developer Insights, the show where we talk about Dungeons and Dragons Online and get insights from some of the developers, like Linabelle from Sandstone Games, who is right here. Linabelle, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good.
That's cool. So today, I want to talk to you about archetypes. Have you heard of these? It's like a new feature for Dungeons and Dragons Online.
I have. I have. I'm very interested. I wonder where they came from. Who's to say?
Yeah. So
Uh,
the if you're just tuning in and you don't know much about it, or maybe you've like missed sleeping under a rock or something. Archetypes are a new feature for Dungeons and Dragons Online. It's basically when you make your character, you can choose either a class or a different archetype of that same class, and it's like an alternate version of that class. Sometimes with different enhancement trees, different spells, all sorts of different features and mechanics, and there are many different changes that can be made. And right now we have the three archetypes: the Cleric Dark Apostate, the Undead Cleric, the Bard Stormsinger, which is like a magic storm lightning-y sort of bard thing. It's very cool. And the Paladin Sacred Fist, which is like a monk paladin hybrid that has all sorts of unique stats. And they're free. So you can't complain about any of these features. So I wanted to talk to you about archetypes since you know a lot about it. How have you you've seen them come out in the world. How has been the public reception of archetypes been so far?
Honestly, really good. Like this was kind of a gamble. Because it's not like anything we have in the game so far. And so far, the reception that we've gotten actually has been very positive. I feel really proud. I feel like we did a good job. I can't wait to hit the ground running on more of them. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I can't wait to design more.
So I wanted to specifically talk about some of the ones we have because we got Dark Apostate, Sacred Fist, and Stormsinger. Which kind of like what was how did you decide between like these three classes versus some of the other classes that kind of came out?
Oh, well, for the first set, we wanted really hard to lean into like stuff that we've always said we kind of wanted to do, and that's
Yep.
like the Undead Cleric is always like that's just a build people have always wanted. They've always
Yeah.
wanted to make that, and we're like, let's make that a reality. And it's a great example of how the system can really just turn a class on its head. Like Dark Apostate has like it's one tree that's different, and the spells they don't even get different spells, they get the same spells but the prepared ones switch, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I feel like it plays totally differently even with that. It's like the most minor of changes. And then from there, Storm Singer Bard is actually something that a lot of myself and my friends really like playing in other editions of D&D, and it's like we wanted to be able to bring that together. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's 3.5 form.
Yep.
And then Sacred Fist was like wild card.
Yeah. You
Because
punch
like
people, and there's
yeah,
fire and paladin. People have been playing monk paladins forever. It's been just such a standard build. So
yeah, it's like it's just it's cool because like we wanted to see if we could put together that particular religion because like the Path of Light has been like hand wraps as a favorite weapon is pretty cool. And yeah, I think that we tried really hard with this first batch to try and get disparate play styles. Um,
yeah.
like so it's not just like three casters in a row. Although we could do that. Wild card, never never
Hey
cut
man,
that out.
spellcasters are fun. I think the trick is actually instead of like do three spellcasters in a row, just oops, all spellcasters. Oh, what's that? We're making a fighter. Cool, fighter archetypes. Spellcaster now. Spellcaster fighter.
Yeah, and like
Barbarian.
the thing is,
Spellcaster barbarian.
we can totally do that. It's like it's it's like our we put a lot of work into the base system. Um, and so stuff like the most fundamental part of a class, like does a fighter get spell points? Well, we can make a fighter that gets spell points.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. It's way more fun than building like a universal tree.
Yeah, I assume
Um,
a lot of the UI work probably took a lot of time too, like getting stuff to actually fit on the character selection, and then getting like how you interact with the vendors and all this, or like the vendors, the trainers, and all that. Probably took a while to get done, and now that that work is done, adding a new one just means you don't have to do that again.
yeah, like there's a little bit of upkeep when we make a first archetype for each class.
Right.
Because we have to make some UI, but um like that work is done and the base system appears to be functioning. I think there are some strange edge cases with certain types of spellcasters, but our spell selection corrects itself.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like we're running that down, and in the meantime, players can fix themselves. So it's not ideal, but it's not like not ideal. Um,
Yeah. I did have a question because there was the 3 classes. Did you have like a secondary like before you hit Stormsinger? Was there a different bard you were thinking of, or before you hit Dark Apostate or Paladin, was there a different idea that you were thinking of that you just like pivoted to?
yeah, the originally we were going to do a more of a roguey bard,
Oh yeah.
that was more about like sneaking and stuff. And then we're like, "Mm, but like that's it'd be easier if we could do bard as the spellcaster,
Mm. Kind
because
of like
then
lean into it because
once
it's something he already
yeah,
does.
it's because Sacred Fist really, because we if that would be like 3 semi melees in a row, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna say, so the different classes, I played all of them. Super fun. I love Sacred Fist. I thought Sacred Fist was going to be the most vanilla and boring, and it was way the most fun by a million miles. The key spells are great. The fact that you can
that,
like quicken them weirdly means that they have all sorts of like they cast fast, and you're using your spell points and also your key, and it's cool. I love it. Way
the
better than I
spells were
thought.
actually a suggestion. Someone posted it on the forums, and I was like, "That's genius." And like,
Exactly. Just take the monk spells. Of
yeah,
course.
oh god, I know it was like the classic Aristotle sitting in the bathtub, except it was me sitting in the DDO forums. But that's a
Um,
great metaphor.
yeah. And Stormsinger, love Stormsinger. It's kind of just like better Bard. If you're just doing damage, like obviously it doesn't
we're
have the some of the other utility that Bard gets, so you don't get like the AoE buffs, and maybe you have to give up on mass hold. But man, does it feel good to just thunderstroke somebody and then iceberg them and then ruin them and then greater ruin them. Oh, it's so good. The magic of Bard. Um, but Dark Apostate. I have played many Dark Apostates, and it's really cool. And the best part about Dark Apostate is you're a cleric. Because cleric is really good. But the Dark Apostate stuff is kind of not super useful in comparison to most of the cleric stuff. Do you think that some of these archetypes will get some like adjustments or balance wise in the future? I know that it's a new feature, but there's definitely a couple of places where there's some undertuned or areas of some of these archetypes.
Yeah, I mean, like, nothing's off the table. Like, it's a lot easier to aim upwards than it is to go downwards. Going downwards makes a lot of people angsty, but hitting something with a buff a few months after release, no big deal.
Yeah, because Dark Apostate's conceptually great. It just everything does less damage than you want it to, and then you just play Divine Disciple or War Priest instead.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, I Dark Apostate, they have a casting tree, it's Divine Disciple, and they have a melee tree, it's War Priest. So the idea that it would be a better caster than the caster tree or a better melee than the melee tree, like it's trying to do both in the sense that like it's your second tree no matter which one you're doing, or it's your first tree if you're doing both. Um, and DDO has always had a really hard time supporting the both. Like you really have to throw a lot of sauce.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, but it's like, yeah, like I don't know. If we gotta tune the damage up, and we gotta tune the damage up. Like it's not. I was about to say it's very easy, but for Dark Apostate, how we did that damage is actually beyond difficult. So it's
That's funny.
a tremendous amount of work. But yeah, like I don't know. We buff stuff all the time. Buffing Shirati, this next update. Like
Buffing Shirati in this next update.
indeed.
Hell yeah.
Indeed, I made it even more confusing and convoluted. You'll have to do even more math to play that trait.
Perfect. I like that. If there's anything DDO players love, it's making spreadsheets for stuff, which
That's
is actually
correct.
very true.
That's correct. This one you're gonna be able to do a little y equals mx plus b in order to estimate some damage, and it'll feel really good. Um,
Time to break out those the TI-86. Let's go.
yeah.
It's not just for playing Super Mario anymore.
Yeah. It's not just for programming your own games in math class.
Exactly. But yeah, that's really funny. Okay, cool. Hey, I love that. Yeah, I'm really excited for more archetypes. I'm having so much fun with these ones, and I'm going to be playing more and more of them. I really want to play Sacred Fist again, but I got to get through Dark Apostate first. Taking more time than I thought. But that's not the only reason we're here to talk just about archetypes. I thought, what if you and me came up with a new archetype on the spot? And by I thought about it, I mean I had that thought like a week ago, and we talked about it. And then I posted on my YouTube channel, had people vote on it, and then people voted for Rogue. So how do you like the idea of coming up with a Rogue archetype live, taking ideas from this here Twitch chat?
I think it'd be cool. Although as a word of warning, we should stay away from things that I know for a fact we're going to be doing in the future, and you all just have to be really cool and ignore that that's a kind of a tacit,
Yeah. The
announcement of those features. So just pretend that I'm denying them for unrelated reasons, and we're going to work together for it together.
Yeah, so we're gonna be the ideas here is I'm gonna be taking ideas from you guys, but I want themes. So give me some themes, and if I can see these books behind me, these are nerd books. These are D&D nerd books. If your idea comes from one of these D&D nerd books, get an original idea, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let me get the JPEGs loaded up here, and we'll get this show on the road. This might not work.
Jerry suggested shark as a theme, and I think that one's pretty cool.
Oh, like a shark-themed rogue?
Yeah, I don't know. But if people come up with better ideas,
I do like the idea of a shark-themed rogue. That's really cool. Get this theme here. Here we go. So I didn't know what to put as like the icon, because usually I would have like something on the screen. So I just stretched out Jeet's face, because I felt like it would fit pretty good for this.
That's from the Sharn key art. I'd recognize that anywhere.
And I actually have to get this shared with you, so give me a second, because I forgot to do that, because I am I'm not that smart. So give me a second here.
Brainstorm. That's great.
Okay, so I just sent you a link to it via your email, so you should be able to get that and edit that.
Oh, my email.
Yeah, we're gonna be having a brainstorm about what we're gonna be doing. So this is gonna be a rogue archetype, and let me just get this a little squished over here. Oh, this shouldn't be the whole screen. It should only be. Hold on. I'm not supposed to be displaying my entire screen here, so give me a sec. I don't know why it's doing this to me, but it is. Anyway. See, this is what video editing is for, and I love video editing.
You can just cut this whole thing out?
I can just cut out all the parts I don't like. So, we're going to be doing the rogue. So, people in chat, what ideas do you have? So, imagine a rogue as an archetype. What do you think of? What is the type of rogue? And I'm talking about, like, themes. So, metal rogue, fire rogue, spellcaster rogue, rogue that eats its own hands as a sandwich. I don't know why you would do that, but that you can do whatever you want, okay?
That does seem...
It's really dramatic.
A little contrived. I think my video crashed on your stream.
It's frozen because I'm editing stuff.
Oh. Can you freeze it on a different frame where I don't look like that?
Yeah. No
it's just... Is that how I always look? Oh my god.
Okay.
That's
Unfrozen. All right. We have our rogue archetype.
All right. I like impoverished child rogue. That's a good one.
Yeah. Pro wrestler monk rogue. Not a bad idea. Count of Monte Cristo rapier rogue, like a scoundrel of some kind.
Lasso rogue. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oliver Twist. That's fantastic. I kind of love that. See, divine rogue has always seemed like a cool concept to me. The idea of somebody being like, not so much somebody who's like a holy person, but maybe like a very religious rogue, so somebody who has
I think that's called a divine agent, and we can't do that one.
Okay, divine agent. All right,
we just gotta mentally cross that one off.
Mentally cross that one off.
Cowboy rogue, that's good. Batman rogue, like actually Batman.
Oh, the Batman build. So it's literally
it's Batman.
Yeah, you just have like devices and items and things, and it's all about crafting. So I like Batman rogue. So
I like Batman rogue, but I'm not talking about like the Batman build. I mean like literally Batman.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like you get Batarang, and you can Batarang people in a grappling hook. Like
Yeah. Also, needs good fist fighting.
yes,
'Cause they
also
don't
in a
use
lot of
weapons.
haggle. 'Cause you're a millionaire. Oh, you get uncapped platinum. That'd be good for Batman Rogue.
Uncapped platinum. You just don't have nothing cost platinum.
Nothing costs platinum.
Yeah.
People just give them things for free.
Exactly. And your wealth increases.
2 rune arms. That's good. Bat wild shape also good.
Bat wild shape. No, that's not bad. He doesn't turn into a bat.
He turns into a
It's a
lot of
different
bats.
guy.
It's a different guy. That's
Yeah,
man
different guy.
bat. That's
man
that's
bat.
a whole.
That's man bat. Dead Parents Rogue. Okay, so we're still going down that. Summon a rogue where you summon. For every trap you disarm becomes a summon and fights for you. Oh, when you disarm traps, it creates like a golem.
Oh, I was thinking like the trap box gets little arms and legs and an angry face and like just kind of waddles after you.
That's also a good idea. I like that one. Thug strength-based rogue that uses clubs and great clubs. I do love that idea.
I know you love that idea.
I know, I want it so bad. I've definitely talked about it in this chat before.
What would that even be? Like that's just like a one tree that replaces like I don't know.
You get rid of
mechanic
assassin.
or something. Get rid of assassin.
Yeah, you get rid of assassin for sure because they're not assassinating anybody. You probably also get rid of mechanic. You get rid of both of them. You give them a new like a brawler tree or something because they got like a big great club, and then you give them like Ravager from Barbarian, and instead of sneak attack, they get like front attack or something where they or like gang up attack where when they're near allies they get more damage. Because you got to be.
I get the sense that you've done some premeditated design here.
I just think about things all the time. So that's
we could do like we could do that rogue if you'd like to do that rogue. I kind of want to do a legally distinct non-Batman rogue.
Legally distinct non-Batman rogue. So legally, okay, I'm just gonna put that legally distinct Batman rogue. So this is a totally different type of character.
Different guy.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Aristocrat archaeologist rogue. How would you make an archaeologist indeed?
That's really good though.
I like it. The idea of like fighting with like a cane or something.
That would be good.
Monocles, double stats from goggles.
17 goggle slots.
Yeah, goggles are actually monocles, so you can have 2 of them.
I do really like the idea of like a relic hunter, treasure hunter rogue.
Okay, we got treasure hunter rogue.
Like would be like the archaeologist treasure hunter kind of a thing.
All right. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. Zoro public domain. Zoro always seemed like a bard to me. Not gonna lie.
What's interesting is that in 5th edition, Swashbuckler is a rogue thing.
It is a rogue thing. It is, yeah.
So overpowered. It's insanely overpowered.
It is incredibly overpowered, yeah. But yeah, that seems kind of cool. Wait, does Legally Distinct Batman Rogue have a vampire form? Oh no, it's actually just Man-Bat Rogue?
It's a Man-Bat Rogue. No relation.
Oh man, I kind of do love the idea of Man-Bat Rogue with a vampire form.
The more I'm thinking about this, Treasure Hunter Rogue, where you get whips, would actually be really cool.
It's like Indiana Jones. So
yeah.
With, Treasure Hunter, Jonas, Indie Rogue. There we go. Said legally distinct. Legally distinct.
The Jonas Brothers Rogue.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
There are a lot of good ideas here.
There's a lot of good ideas. I'll probably put up a vote after we come up with this, unless you feel really strongly in one direction.
I feel like all 3 of these we could probably put something together, but I'm leaning towards the 3rd one pretty strongly.
All right, I'm down to do Indiana Jones Rogue. So, because that would obviously come with either a new whip weapon or attacks that involve using a whip to do things. And you'd have to have a cool animation. Fortunately, this feature would come out in update 281, which means they have time to add those mechanics to the game.
Yeah, like a disclaimer, this is like fantasy land in which animation is not the most insanely costly and time-consuming part of the video game.
The design of this and the ideas presented within may never reach into the game. This is an exercise for fun, where we're just talking about the game because it's fun to come up with wacky, goofy ideas. And also, there's no budget restricted to this because it's made up. All right, you want to do Treasure Hunter?
I do, especially because people are like, the whip attack would be like the chains, and like, yeah, it totally would.
It would totally be chains. It's basically a way to play chains, but not be a shader Kai.
Exactly. Exactly. God, and I might do this. This is terrible. Now I can't do this if I do this here, but that's okay.
All right, let's do it. Unless you really don't want to talk about that, we can do something else instead.
I'm thinking about it. This is the more I think about this is like a good idea. Like this is pretty good.
Right?
I think that Treasure Hunter Rogue is just out there enough that if we also do Treasure Hunter Rogue, it's unlikely to be the same.
Yeah.
So we're probably safe.
All right, Treasure Hunter Rogue it is.
Safe. All right, let's get these out of there.
Yeah, no more Treasure Hunter Rogue. Okay, so now Treasure Hunter Rogue has to be distinct in class, trees, and other stuff. So we got to talk about class features. So how is a Treasure Hunter Rogue different? Maybe a Treasure Hunter Rogue literally doesn't have sneak attack.
Ooh, but I like sneak attack. Sell me on why this is a good idea.
Well, because it has to have, something else. So it depends on what archetype we're going after. So if this is like Treasure Hunter, Archeologist, something where you're like, like Indiana Jones in the movie, it's a very brash, forward character. So maybe the sneak attack it applies in a different way, or you just get less of it. It's more like a cunning sort of thing. So it's like you get half the amount of sneak attack. Maybe not none, but it's not like the core focus of the character is sneaking up and jabbing somebody in the kidneys. Because when I think of the possibly semi-related films that are definitely not related, and don't sue me, Disney, there's a guy who like whips people and shoots them with guns. Not as sneaky.
No, he's actually very sneaky. Like he's a crafty motherfucker.
Oh, very crafty for sure.
So that's the thing is like with archetypes, we don't actually have to replace base class features as long as the trees are different enough, or we do something else. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I just think that the idea of like changing up the sneak attack, maybe just like halving it, and then using that space to add in something instead with the sneak attack. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the obvious trade-off here would be something treasure related. So like rather than hypothetically speaking getting sneak attack, you would get some sort of bonus to like specific types of items like we borrow from Artificer. And maybe that also extends to like like they get some sort of passive. So we have a lot of ways of controlling, like for example, random loot or named loot. Like what if they just got like 1% named item drop chance every other sneak attack dice?
Yeah, instead of sneak attack dice. So instead of getting, what is it, rogues get 11 sneak attack dice, they get 6, but 5% extra loot chance.
Yeah, so like every other level. So like,
and like 3, 7.
Yeah,
11.
We can borrow some formatting here because I've written up a lot of these. Don't tell anybody I'm telling you this, but I've written up a lot of these. So how I normally do this is do class features and then feats and then added, removed. And so under added we have new feat.
Stack. I like
Treasure Hunter.
So many good ideas in chat here.
Plus 1% named item drop chance. And then this would be at levels 3. So, these are so irregular. It's not every. It's every other.
Every odd level. So you do every other odd level. So it'd be 3, 7, 11, 15, 19. What would be a more useful version of blessing a chest that's reasonable? Well, you have to understand in the movie there's that thing where he's got like very gently grabs the item. Guy's got some good luck and also dodges boulders pretty good. Evasion, sprint boost, all of that stuff fits in here. I like it. Gambit attacks is a sneak attack, where sneak attacks is a debuff that you can consume to do stuff. Whoa, man.
We're gonna hit him with the heading here. There we go.
Oh yeah, hit him with the heading. That's a good idea.
There we go. Added and removed. All right.
Feet stacked with potions from the store. I would assume the feet would stack.
Yeah. We should also do this named item drop chance and then like +1 random die roll. This is also what a different potion does. Like I'm just gonna add, like this is like 1% to all the potion types.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So we got the whip. Whip is going to be an attack probably in the tree, which makes sense.
I could see like a whip and then in like tier 2 or something, and then a lot of upgrades to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But also,
let's put that in there.
How do we get a gun in here?
I'm not allowed to answer that question because I have a good idea of how to put guns in the game. don't tell anybody I said that.
Sure, but in here, is this like a attack where you draw a crossbow? Is there a crossbow proficiency or bonus in this tree or in this character? You can probably just keep mechanic, right?
Yeah.
Because I assume that if there's new tree, it's probably replacing the quarterstaff tree more than anything else.
Yeah, almost certainly replacing the quarterstaff tree. Like
Yeah.
the quarterstaff tree is too acrobatic. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Doesn't
Yeah.
seem. If I had to do guns in the video game, and this is like deep design knowledge, so this doesn't leave this Twitch chat or this YouTube video. If you
Yeah,
hear
yeah, it
this, you're
stays
not allowed
here.
to talk about it.
Yep.
I would make it so that rune arms can be converted to magical guns and vice versa, the same way that collars and hand wraps flip around.
Yep.
And if you're using a gun, it fits in the rune arm slot. So if you've got pistol proficiency, every rune arm can also be used as a gun, and we can release new guns that also turn into rune arms. And
Yeah,
they
so
would
just
they
you
would
don't have to like add items throughout the whole game. The items already exist. They just have a different like visual and utility if you're
Yeah, so like that way we don't have to make all new items and spread them out through the entire game. And the idea of a magical gun that fires like ice or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's well within the lore of Eberron.
absolutely. In fact, probably more so than rune arms.
Yeah, well, the rune armors have kind of flipped back around again. I think that they're a very fun invention, and they've become very iconic to the class to the point where like art about DDO has kind of leaked into the general D&D sphere about this of like, why do all artificers have this thing? What is that? You know what I mean? Like,
So,
yeah,
idea. I'm just writing down ideas from chat that I think are interesting.
I'm all right. All right, tier 2. Whip it good.
Just throw it in the tree. Whip attack.
Whip attack. Like Shade Archive.
The damage from
Alright.
whip. Daze or stun, bleeding damage. Yeah, there's like, you can give them a daze, a stun, a whole bunch of stuff. Whip crack, you can even like upgrade it. I still like the idea of a whip for movement. So either imagine for a moment a whip attack that pulls you to an enemy.
Ooh, that's not possible to do, but we can do it here in this theorycraft.
Yeah, well, the future they can do it. In DDO
In the
future. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is like we can move players, and I say move in air quotes because every other time we've tried to move players, it's the air jets and they're terrible.
Yeah, air jets don't work. Yeah.
I like the idea of a disarm on
it
the
would
whip.
be like
That's
paladin
really
charge, but you'd make a whip animation. You pull yourself there.
Yeah.
So I do like the idea. Also, artifacts. So obviously this character has a bonus with artifacts. Maybe they get 2 artifacts as like a capstone effect.
Ooh.
Because it's literally an artifact.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. That would be unbalanced, but
I think that's a tier 5 because I want people to splash into this.
Okay, yeah, tier 5. Sure, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other like base class features. What does Rogue even do? I have no idea.
The thing is, like, Rogue's base class features are really streamlined, and Rogue is insanely powerful because of it. Like, there's not gimmicks in the Rogue makeup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they just get powerful feats, like sneak attacks, really good. You know what
trap
I mean?
sense is good. Evasion is good. These things all fit. So special ability though. Crippling strike, defensive roll, improved evasion, opportunist skill mastery, slippery mind. We can take out a couple of those and add in some new ones.
Yeah, I think that they're probably not crippling strike because I don't see Indiana Jones crippling anybody. I think that's very mean. And
I like this. That's a cool idea. An ability that says it belongs in a museum.
Yep, that's a good one. I like that.
That's gonna go somewhere. I don't know where that goes.
Probably, I think the idea of it belongs in a museum is the 2 minor artifacts because that's a great name for the. Like, I kind of want to murder. That's so iconic.
Yeah, that's classic. I like that we just, and that's the thing I love about Dungeons & Dragons Online is you can try to make a character from a movie or a TV show or video game or another video game in DDO, but during DDI, we can literally make that character.
That's just great. This is great. I'm so happy we're doing this.
Yeah. The whip charge is good. Trap making substitute.
No. They got to keep trap making for a reason I can't tell anybody about.
All right.
Source. Trust me, bro.
Yeah, I feel like, is it possible? So we remember when we talked about Kobold, the idea of looting stuff gives a bonus.
Oh
Would,
yeah.
yeah. Would it be a
Um.
good idea to have something where looting stuff gives a bonus? Because you
Oh,
could replace it,
absolutely.
like you could replace crippling strike with like something, and it's like you gain a bonus based on whatever you pick up or something instead from a chest.
Yeah, I was actually thinking we have collectible nodes that are sorted by like aesthetic, like cultural versus whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's like a backpack or like a shrine or
Yeah.
yeah.
What the hell is the AoE trip called in Thief Acrobat?
Uh, staff
Is it
sweep.
not even? I think it's staff sweep.
I think it's staff sweep. Yeah,
Yeah, the since we're replacing Thief Acrobat,
it's
sweeping
just whip sweep,
strike, sweeping strike in tier 3.
sweeping strike. Yeah,
So we can do something very cute here, which is when we're replacing a tree, we can make abilities that do the same thing as the original one. They were just flavored differently. So I think it would be really cool if the whip attack was an AoE trip as a baseline and was in tier 3 like sweeping strike. You know what I mean?
yeah, that seems fine.
Like I think that's a cool thing to do.
Yeah,
And I
sounds good
like
to
the
me.
idea of disarming people with that too. And by that I mean it's probably going to be an AoE days. Where's sweeping strikes? Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, and staff lunge is right above it, so that could also be the whip forward.
yeah, but you would make it like targeted enemy, so you whip to an enemy.
Yeah.
It would just be like, because you can't just like whip nothing. You gotta whip a guy.
Yeah.
To him. Although, unless this is like the far future where all objects on the landscape have hook points, and you could just whip to whatever you wanted.
That's a good point. This is a hypothetical future. What I would do is I'd probably put whip points in the same way of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like the grappling hook.
And they're all over every quest in the whole game.
A whip point. Yes, obviously.
Yeah, that they would go back and fix that.
That's good. We go back and do that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Different traps types add that element to weapon damage. Disabling a fire trap adds fire damage to your weapon.
not bad. Consume a minor artifact from a like eat it, like you eat it with your mouth. I don't remember Indiana Jones
That's an
doing
interesting
that.
idea. I don't like that one though.
I feel like in DDO we try really hard to not do like setups that require so much prep time, like in this case, farming out minor artifacts, such that if you
You have a
mess
backpack full of them
up,
to eat them. Yeah.
yeah, like we don't want it so that if you mess up, like it actually sets you back like weeks of play. You know what I mean? Like you should just be able to try again.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I do like that idea that collectible. What if it's just when you pick up a collectible, it gives you a short-term movement speed bonus?
that's cool. I like that this has become some sort of it's like a farming character thing. And with that
Yeah,
in
it's like
mind,
for farming, treasure hunting, all that stuff.
yeah, should we do something dumb? Like each point spent in this tree is 1 point of haggle. Like that's so dumb. 50 points of haggle.
Yeah. Well, I do remember that it's better to have just the cores at a flat amount than add it. Remember you when we were talking about
Yeah,
it
so
before, you
like
and Steve were
behind the
saying it's better to
scenes,
do that.
this is like pull the curtain back and you can see how horrifying it is in this video game. When we have abilities that are like for each point spent in the tree, you get like 1 spell power. Secretly, what that means is that every single enhancement gives you 1 spell power. So if an enhancement gives you 10, it actually gives you 11 because 1 for the point. But if an enhancement costs 2, it actually has to give you 2 points. And we constantly mess this up. Like we've never once successfully put together a tree with this, and it's not just been a big nightmare.
Yep.
It's also like the flat amounts, like the 5 per core, it kind of ends up to be it doesn't end up to be exactly the same. But the big bursts means that if you splash into it, you actually end up with more. So it's like better for low splashes into trees you're not really primary again. Um,
I hate the word
so
acquired. I can't spell it properly.
oh yeah, not even.
Yeah, I like this one. But instead of divine lore feats, he did a lot of studying. Rogues don't get any lores at all.
Should these get lores? I don't think so. Oh, the thing is, Indiana
It could be
Jones
like a rogue where you
faster.
get like half of all lores. So it's half prime. So every 2
Oh, like
levels you get a
Bard?
prime. Yeah, like Bard.
Yeah,
Because it's just the lores, and the lores almost never key into anything. So it's
yeah,
not
I
like
don't
an
know. I
overpowered
don't want
thing.
to
It's like flavor.
overjuice the class features because they are getting something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, probably fine.
Oh, we'll find something else to cut. I wanted to look up the rogue special abilities really quick. So
they're not bad. I think skill mastery is the obvious weakest choice here. Like,
yeah, so probably cut skill mastery as well.
Indiana Jones is incredibly skilled. I would cut crippling strike because I think it's a little too mean for Indiana Jones. Although Indiana Jones does get mind controlled by that alien, so he should not have slippery mind.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Perfect. So added. So we got what's a good name for an ability? Like, because I like the idea of one of these being something where you gain a bonus when you pick stuff up. And I was just gonna copy the thing from the kobold race idea.
Oh, I would do the buff on item pickup on collectible here. I think that's just a
It's here.
fun.
Okay.
I would, yeah, in the class features, like, yeah.
Yep. So what do we call this?
A yoink
Yoink. Perfect.
with an exclamation point.
I like that. Added as special.
Oh, that's fear of snakes. Like, oh my
Fear of
god,
snakes.
fear of snakes. You get like it's this like favorite enemy reptiles or something. That should just be as like in tier 1 or something, or tier 2.
Add treasure hunter.
I like that we started out with this being like definitely not Indiana Jones, and now I'm just
Now
like,
it's
yeah,
just
like
straight
in
up
the
Indiana Jones. It's straight up
movie,
Indiana
like,
Jones, 100%. Yeah. Exactly. Can't take snake blood. Can't take snake blood. True.
Question: snakes, like snakes, they're vermin in 3.5 rules, right? Not reptile. Reptile is for reptile humanoid.
You don't fight a lot of snakes. They're animals. Pretty sure they're just animals. Snakes are
I'm
animals.
googling this.
I'm certain snakes. Well, because they're only big snakes, right?
Yes. Snake folk are apparently a thing. All right. Can you put up a poll here? Are snakes vermin, animals, or reptiles?
Okay, I'll put
Can
up the
you-
poll.
Like, help me out.
Vermin, animal, and reptile. I'm gonna put that up the poll. I'll put it up for like 3 minutes. Give people time to like click it. Sometimes it doesn't
Yeah.
come up where you're in ads. That
Why
is a
did
good
have-
I do like that. Just thematically, you're disallowed from taking snake blood. But then you can't do it because if you multi-class, you already have snake blood. Dude. Really called snake blooded.
I think we could do it with a tier 2. Why did it have to be snakes? You gain favorite enemy snake and requisite snake blood. I feel like that perfectly
you just put the
encapsulates,
anti-requisite in that. Yeah, perfect.
you know, then we just close that
comes
loop.
together. Yeah, I like it.
I gotta vote in this poll real quick. I think it's a vermin.
Oh, I also have to vote in the poll. I think it's animal.
I'm losing.
I think it's animal. Produces cause me to be paralyzed like rust monsters due to hit Warforged. So dumb.
Just Medusa hits you die in real life.
They already turned you to stone, but yeah, just throw that in there. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, true. You could also just pick Yuan-Ti. I don't know what Yuan-Ti are. I think they are monstrous humanoids.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, for the first time in my life, click the monsters page in the wiki.
So check against enemies you defeat for their type. Or mechanic of learning theme mechanic. Okay. Oh.
UNT are monstrous humanoids, so our poll is all wrong.
That's interesting. So wait. So what do you mean? So they possible to check against enemies you defeat for their type. Arcane. So you learn the core. So like when you fight an enemy. Oh man. What if there was an enhancement in the treasure hunter that let you see the health of monsters even if you didn't have the like monster manual ability?
That's cool. That's cool. Counterpoint. What if the treasure hunter lets you see what was in each chest? Like, potentially.
What do you mean let you see what was in each chest?
Like you could see like drop rates and stuff. Like when you loot chests, it gives you like a little printout.
I mean, like let's just being real. That should just be in the game.
I'm working on it.
Most games have that.
I'm working on it.
So I
I
do like the
almost
idea, but I would prefer it be in the game than in this class.
Yeah. Right now I'm working on something that when you have it checked, when you touch a chest, it gives you a readout of your ransack. Um,
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
so you can tell like how many like what your when your finish line is and how many times you've touched it since then.
Yeah.
Um, because like ransack in this game, how this works is that when you touch a chest, it marks a timestamp for 7 days in the future, and then it counts the number of times you've touched it before that timestamp. And then when the timestamp runs out, it wipes that number, and the next time you touch it, makes a new timestamp. Um,
No ransack. Yeah, that's. I mean, this would be the ultimate farming character if there was no ransack.
I think it's a little, yeah. I would be closer to abolishing ransack altogether than
Yeah.
looks like Animal One. Okay.
Oh, I had an idea unrelated. So one of the biggest problems that new players have is they don't tell people that they're new because they don't think to do that. And then existing players don't realize that they're new. And then people just kind of go to quests because that's how you play DDO. And then people go, oh, I'm lost. Where do I go? And everyone's in the quest. How do you feel about the idea that if either somebody is new, like if they have a new account or it's like their first character or something, or they could flag themselves so that when you know, like the side of the like the bar that has all like the characters once you're in a party, you could put like something on there that somebody could indicate that they're like a new player.
Oh, I floated this idea.
Because there's like the
Floated this
star.
idea before.
There's like the star for like whoever the leader is, so you can see that one. But imagine if you could just put a little marking on your little icon that would just display that you're new and you need guidance.
So I have played games with this before, and depending on the game, that is either a mark where you get hounded by over patronizing, over familiar people, or you are bullied. Like I think that in practice, a lot of people who are new do not want that kind of attention. And
But
there are
I was playing Final Fantasy yesterday, and I had a thing that was like returning player, and people were super nice to me, like, "Oh, welcome back, you know, what's up?" Or like when people are new, they have like a little sprout next to their name, so you know, like, oh, they're brand new to the game. Treat them nice.
I think it really depends on the game.
Yeah.
I really think it depends on the game.
Yeah.
And I'm a little worried that people would take those as please bully me invitations.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can see where you're coming from with that.
I don't know. Like so in my head, because I've actually pitched this system in my head. This system is a two sets of opt-ins. One is for helper and the other is for help me. And whatever they end up being named, those like that's the two parts of this.
Yeah.
And those who opt in as help me, should people who are marked as helper are not incentivized to help them, but it's easy to connect them together. You know what I mean?
Right, that makes sense.
I don't know. I'm a little wary about those sorts of systems, mostly because if I could speak a little personally, I get horrifically bullied whenever I say that I'm playing DDO. Like I don't sometimes I don't have a very good time, and I don't want to put that same spotlight. And I know this because I'm a developer, and people think that because I'm a developer, that is a license to take out their frustrations on the game on me. And I'm just wary of that kind of energy getting. Because like for me, I'm getting paid for this, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like at the
exactly.
very least, they're like, you know, terrible stuff, whatever. But I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's like the reason why people can pay bits in the chat to like throw insults at me. You can definitely do that because you're paying for it. So thank you for your dollar. So just say whatever you want.
Yeah, well, it's complicated, and not all people, not all developers really like that heat. Like most of them play very anonymously, and like,
Well, I imagine
I don't-
most developers are like people that work with computers and aren't super not that people can't be social, but chose a less social vocation.
yeah, I think that like one of the things that I think that we should do is we should make more footprints cosmetics, because anecdotally
love
those
it,
are very
yeah.
helpful. And I think that'd be a fun way to add new cosmetics and also secretly help people.
All right, we'll get back into this. I just want to say that I did get two people. I have all the text-to-speech stuff turned off because we're doing this thing, and I don't want to come through the stream.
Got him.
So got 'em. Thanks for the dollars, folks. Okay, so let's start. We have some ideas here. Cores, tiers, that sort of thing of this actual tree. So, so features that are removed, or I guess, yeah, class features, feats. So those are feats, right? So then we have enhancement trees as well, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Enhancement
yeah. This is
trees.
so removed for this one would probably be Thief Acrobat because like there's not. I don't see Indiana Jones as particularly acrobatic.
Sure. But what if instead of assassin, you get swashbuckler?
Oh, I think that's a little too piratey. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to that, and I'm not opposed to that specifically because assassin is like the ability names are like kill you and cut your eyes out and poison you, and that's like Indiana Jones
Yeah.
is not into that. I think that's fine just to get rid of the awkward the awkward like Indiana Jones is a serial killer kind of association. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Or if there's a better idea, what it would be if something isn't swashbuckler? What's a better idea, people in chat, that fits well to replace assassin? This is already replacing thief acrobat. We have the treasure hunter tree. Treasure hunter tree. Here we go. The old century.
Oh, then this tree could give you an unusual swashbuckling weapon. Does Indiana Jones have a distinctive weapon beyond a gun and a whip? I don't think he uses anything other than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, we're just gonna do a little bit of a bend here, and that somewhere in the treasure hunter tree it should say you could use guns in your offhand count as swashbuckling the same way that inquisitive does. You can swashbuckler with crossbows.
Oh,
Maybe.
sure.
Maybe just give you crossbows in the offhand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking of the idea. What if crazy? It's its own combat style. Now this is super piratey.
Gun whip.
Yeah, gun whip.
Gun
Exactly.
gun whip. I like.
It's like
it.
instead of a gun sword, you have a gun whip. You know.
All right, whip in the offhand and light crossbow in the main hand. I think is better than whip in the main hand and crossbow in the offhand.
Yeah. Also
used a
occurred to
rocket
me,
launcher once. That's great.
Also occurred to me that he can throw his hat, and so can Mario in Odyssey. So what if we got some crossover there?
I think Nintendo would come to my house.
Yeah, they wouldn't like.
All
that.
right. I think that okay. I like the idea of this is kind of an alternate inquisitive universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like a weird. Oh, we should just the same way that like inquisitive is like when you've got a light crossbow in your main hand, bloopity bloop, we make a fake one in your offhand. It'd be like when you've got a light crossbow or a heavy crossbow in your main hand, we just put a whip in your offhand.
Yeah, and then the whip does something.
And the whip does something. So it's like anti-requisite with dual shooter in the same place. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. Yeah, I love it. With a staff in the beam of light. Yep, that also works. True. I don't know if a rocket launcher is a good here, but that could fit as well. As Indy with a bow? No idea. I will also say, also Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. That's another character who raids tombs and collects things. That's good inspiration. I have never played a Tomb Raider game, and also, shamefully, I've also never seen any of the Indiana Jones movies, so I'm really working off the edge here.
If I could give a recommendation, I think that the Red Letter Media review of the fourth Indiana Jones movie, where they spend an extended period of time making fun of the specific take of the line part-time, was very good, and I think that you'd like it. Yeah, it's not a good movie. It's bad. Somebody gets eaten alive by ants, and it's like the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why they put those things in movies. It's like, here's a fun action adventure romp, and also like the worst nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
That like it was unusually violent compared to the rest of it.
Okay, so other ideas here. So we got the whip. So, and the whip is in the offhand. So I guess this is a crossbow class.
Yeah, like an
crossbow
analog for a pistol. You know what I mean? Like this would have synergies with Inquisitive, but you can't actually do the whip style.
And it would also have synergies with Swashbuckler because you could just get crossbow while swashbuckling.
Yes. There you go. That'd be cool.
There's the tie-in. Yeah.
There's the tie. Okay. I like this, and then so I'm just gonna copy what Inquisitive
What's
has
this?
up that
Yeah.
line because I think that's a pretty fair way of doing it.
Nicholas Cage and National Treasure. Yep. Also comparable. Very comparable. All right. So if I feel like if you're like a treasure hunter, tumble is like really important to this character.
Absolutely.
So tumbling feels important. So tumble is like a key thing. Tumble is key thing. Maybe skill based on tumble. Like an ability that scales off your tumble, maybe.
Oh, I like the idea of so like one of the things Indiana Jones does is that he tumbles through traps a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like
What if
that.
you use your tumble instead of your tumble skill to make reflex saves against traps instead of your reflex
I
save?
feel like that would kind of suck. Like you're not really getting a lot out of that. I mean, I don't know.
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking out loud.
I would just literally because like we actually we do this a lot. We have it so it's like well while you're tumbling you get a huge bonus to reflex
Yeah.
saves. You know what I mean? Um,
Oh, because this is in the future where the tumble special tumble option feels better. The experimental
yes,
tumble control.
yes, that feature may never come. I think the stop is part of the animation displacement.
Yeah,
Um,
because it's like so close, but that stop just kills it.
it's so close. I
It's
call
so
it the
close.
Dark Souls controls.
It is. It's literally like Dark Souls controls.
Yeah, I played a lot of Elden Ring and I was like, I could do that, and turns out it's very difficult, very difficult. But
Okay, what if you remove Slippery Mind and then you get iframes while tumbling
um,
instead?
I think that we can make iframes in a way that is safe. We've done bonuses to reflex and saves versus stressful tumbling, and I don't want to add anything that is overt invincibility. Just from the principle of the thing. Like this is a D&D game,
Yeah.
and so things that give like plus 20 should be like automatic success. You know what I mean? But there should always be a slight chance of failure.
Okay. So what about defensive roll is literally defensive roll. So while tumbling, you take percentage amount less damage, and it's based on your like a tumble check or something.
Sure, as long as it's the it has to use the same like that. This has to be like a okay. So improved evasion, and then like there's a percentage thing that increases that. It should use that same percentage less. So it's like while tumbling, you are considered evading versus traps. You know what I mean? So like if you have evasion and improved evasion, you take 50 or 75% less. You know?
Yeah, because this would just be for traps, obviously,
Yeah.
unless it's like a feature like all the time.
Oh, Arcaniverse has the obvious one. Rather than slippery mind, it's slippery roll, and it's double saves versus traps rather than double saves versus will saves.
Honestly, that's good too. I just wanted
Yeah,
something
that's
tumble
like
related.
there we go. Yeah.
Tumble and Civ disable to disable device, so it disables off of intelligence versus dex. We already had disable device, and so another disable device could also work. Dodge scale on tumble, maybe.
Slippery mind is not just will saves; it's like will enchantments.
It's specifically enchantments, yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna assume will-based enchantment saves makes sense when I typed it outside. All right.
While tumbling,
Yeah, I like that because it's like a like I guess the fun part of archetypes is getting as close to the original class as possible in like a sort of mechanical way.
Yeah.
Without being exactly the same.
So it looks similar, but it feels very different.
It feels very different. Like the closest we can get, the closer we get, the different they are. Okay, another thing that we should do, by the way, is this is the first thing we do in archetypes. Is we should look at the tree we're replacing and see if any of this stuff can or should get copied directly over. For example, Charming in Tier 1 of Thief Acrobat, that should just literally come right over because Indiana Jones is Charming.
Okay,
And
let's take a look here. Let's take a gander at this whole be here. We got this here tree. I have to move this over just a little bit.
Yeah, like Charming and fast movement. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't want to copy that in.
Yeah, Charming for bluff, diplomacy, haggle, intimidate. Obviously, that's a good tier 1. That makes sense.
Yeah, like I think that's just that. Not only is that flavorful for what we're looking at. Why does the wiki put the pluses everywhere? And then fast movement, because Indiana Jones runs around a lot.
Fast movement's probably good to fit in here, but it's also in Swashbuckler.
So we can anti-requisite them.
Well, I was gonna say, or you just leave it in Swashbuckler and don't put it in here.
That's a good point.
Yeah, just leave it because it's like the same. It was the same thing with like the Paladin as well, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah. So fast movement's in Swashbuckler because that's coming through.
Okay, check. Charming is good.
Yeah.
Trip focus could probably work if we're making the whip attacks be trips, which I think we should.
Yeah. Would they be their dexterity trips, or hear me out, because he's very charming because it's Harrison Ford. Dex or charisma?
Sure. Either way, I think the trip DCs makes sense.
I'm just imagining like how you build the character. It's like a dex or a charisma thing.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think charisma is a fine secondary stat here.
Yeah, because with swashbuckling, you can get charisma to damage, so it's built into the character already.
Yeah. No, I think that's fine by me. It seems great, actually.
What else can come in here? There's probably should be an action boost.
Sure. Skills bonus?
It could be action boost treasure hunt. So when you loot a chest during your action boost, the chest gives like +5 loot levels or whatever it is. But then you have a limited number of action boosts.
I'd rather just have chest blessing in the tree. Like, then...
Yeah, I can see that. Are you going to want this tree? You're always going to want this tree. That's the worst part of watching this show. Is you're always like, that's so cool, and then it never happens.
Yeah, it's great, because the better job we do here, the worse it is long-term, because people want it more.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so easy peasy stuff here, real quick. Stats, I'm pretty sure Dex and Charisma.
Dex, Charisma sounds good, yeah. Oh, you already got the crossbow adept and stuff in here, which is perfect. That's great.
I'm not done. I'm copying and pasting so slowly.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff here. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Additional damage to helpless opponents. I don't know if that entirely fits in this tree. Could take it, but I don't know.
I mean, Indiana Jones does kill a lot of people.
He does kill a lot of people.
But I think that's like out of circumstance. Like,
you can pick what lore he gets out of the tree. There could be there. Actually, that's interesting. What about a multi-selector somewhere that's like, you know, gain access to either arcane or religious lore equal to your character level, or like whatever. So it applies a feat when you take it.
Oh yeah, rather than just getting them as a class.
Rather than just getting it as a baseline, yeah.
Yeah. That's way better.
Or what if that also could, instead of being in the tree, just be one of those special ability options?
It could, but I don't like the idea of taking a feat to give you feats. You know what I mean? Like, well, I feel like
but yeah, but that's how it works though, right? Because you can get like take it for a feat for improved evasion because it's like a feat. Well, like I guess it is giving you feats, but
like that thing is like that is improved evasion though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that is improved evasion.
I do like this as just like something in
that could be one of the cores. Yeah, that could be like
I don't know,
or something. Yeah, we had the exact same thought.
Here we go. So hold on. You call core 12 core 4?
Yeah, because the fourth core.
I call it core 12. I call it core and then the name of the minimum level. I can't. What?
Yeah, core 4, fourth core. Floor core.
No, it's core 12 because it's been level 12. Like that's important.
It's good. It's good. All right. What do we call this? So area of study, and then it's a multi-selector.
That's good. Oh, okay. So I could do the what do you even get for each? Because thinking about it, you're losing assassin, so this should probably.
What was this? Arcane lore for each. What is this class called? This is. I should change the name of this treasure hunter. This is not the rogue archetype. This is the treasure hunter. Treasure hunter. And by the way, this will be available later to look at.
Oh no! Action archaeologist. I like that.
Wait, action archaeologist
Yes.
as the name of the archetype?
Yes.
All right, yeah, we can do that. That's cool.
All right. Another thing to note is that since they're losing assassin, we can also grab stuff from assassin.
Oh, like sneak attack bonuses. I like Shiv, but a different name for it.
Yeah, I don't think
Because it would have to work with a crossbow.
Indiana Jones is not the shivving type. He's not also a killer.
Yeah, it's like a
doesn't
distracting shot.
execute.
It's like a bluff that is with your crossbow.
These are all so mean. Like dagger in the back, lethality, soul shatter, poison. Like, come on. Like, all right. I think stealthy is probably a shoe-in for tier 1 here.
So do you like action archaeologist instead of treasure hunter?
I do. I really want to do action archaeologist.
Archaeologist.
I mean, this could be the treasure hunter tree. You know what I mean? But the archetype could be action archaeologist.
Action archaeologist. Gotcha. Will hit 6 enemies. Always called it 4th core as well. Yeah, like I said, I've always done it. There's no whip weapon in DDO. No, instead, the whip, because it's not a weapon, would just be a sick animation where you whip people. That way you don't have to design a whip weapon, and it still stays unique and specific to this. You don't have, like, the best whip user is not treasure hunter tree. Instead, the best whip user is actually some fighter barbarian nonsense. It still feels right. I'm not sure of Die Hard, some terrible stuff in the movies. Die Hard is a good thing to give on, like, somewhere else. Like, first core. Just get Die Hard.
Yeah, first core Die Hard.
Because you get first core from Die Hard of, like, 3 different trees. One of the Barbarians one gives you Die Hard, and one of the Ranger one gives you Die Hard.
I think Barbarian gives it to you twice. Like, we could just give it to you once, and we're probably fine.
So, first core will be something along the lines of, like, you gain access to the Die Hard, and for each, is there going to be a for each core in this tree, or you gain haggle or some nonsense?
Does
that even need that? Because it's like a melee. Melees don't usually, because it's usually just spell power and stuff.
Yeah, like we usually do it for spell power because it's a replacement of the point for spell power spend.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the question is like, this tree is a ranged tree, right?
Yeah, it's a ranged tree.
Like,
well, it's mid-range because you've got whip attacks that are mid-range.
We should have some sort of shotgun.
Sort of shotgun?
I'm just thinking out loud here. I've always wanted to do like a scatter shot. For specifically for like a repeater, but that's not relevant here. I'm thinking out of what I would like to do in the future for the real DDO and not the Indiana Jones optional tie-in.
Okay, how many whip abilities do we have too? The second core should be
right now. I've got 2, and then, but I think that the we should have like an upgrade. Like, I think whip grapple should probably move up a little bit right here.
Yeah, whip grapple, and this should be like. Yeah, because the idea behind whip grapple is you can either select a target or a whip point, and there'll be tons of. This is the future, right? So this is the year 2089. And there's all the quests now have whip points all over it to add in that you can whip to stuff. So you don't have to worry about that. You'll be able to whip grapple to things in the far future.
All right.
Phases all enemies that aren't tripped or trippable. Oh yeah. And this is whip upgrade.
Like, screw scorpions.
Yep, I like that.
I don't like them.
So other things. So the stance isn't in there. Some people were saying the idea where you can auto search stuff. Sort of like
yeah. That's a good core 12. Or wait, core 6. We get whatever Inquisitive gives, but like that's bumping into Inquisitive.
Yeah, that's just Inquisitive. Yeah, but you're not spending that many points in Inquisitive anyway. Also, some people might not own Inquisitive by this time.
Yeah, I also just don't like Inquisitive, so like screw them.
All right, screw them. Let's do it.
Screw them.
Like also, the Inquisitive gives you 2 abilities. It gives you. I think it does that, and it gives you Slippery Mind at the same time, and it gives you no fail saves on.
There's just
saves.
So much going on here. Slippery Mind is, believe it or not, someplace else.
No, it's Mind like Iron. That's it. You no longer automatically fail saving throws for fear, enchantment, or illusion checks, and you automatically search.
And will saving throws. I hate this ability.
Yeah, it does everything.
Thumbs down.
But I still like the idea of having you automatically search to find traps and stuff in here.
Yeah, I think that we could what we could do is we could do it not in the cores, so that way it's not like an either or. Like this could be like another tier 5 or a later core, you know what I mean? Or even lower in the tree, honestly.
Or actually, you could put this in a tier 5 and do like ultra keen eye. You can do the auto search and it gives like 10 double shot or something. Which makes sense.
All right,
For
I
that.
would do this should be like an eye for quality or something, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
he's a sophisticated man.
And auto detect secret doors. I mean, that would be kind of like this, right? Because you'd have search. This is a rogue. Creates an invisibly unpassing wall momentarily when spotting a trap. Oh, base feature. When your character detects a trap via spot, a little ping goes off on your head. Like a visual displays. So when you, the rogue...
like some
That's
sort
actually
of...
just a good idea for the video game.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like, you know, in like Metal Gear Solid, like an exclamation point is above somebody's head when they spot something. It's like that, but whenever you detect a trap, it goes like, wink. So then other players who are with you go, oh, the rogue just detected a trap.
That's great. I'll put that on my whiteboard. I think that's a great idea. No, I don't have a whiteboard marker. Oh, I do.
Nice.
Here we go. No problem. Here we go. Metal Gear.
No. Generic Hideo Kojima video game.
I can't believe Hideo Kojima put himself in Metal Gear Solid 5 as a playable character.
You can't believe that?
I can't believe that. I wish I could put myself in Metal Gear Solid 5 as a playable character.
Yeah, he's also in Cyberpunk too.
I think he's also in real life. He's
Hideo Kojima's
crazy.
all over the place.
What is Hideo Kojima guy really?
He's just he gets around.
I think there's a lot DDO can learn from Metal Gear's systems design. I was actually amazed. I've been watching my partner play it. I'm actually amazed at how in-depth and RPG-like this game is. And I'm also amazed just how similar it is to DDO. Like, it's like the construction of the game is actually quite similar, of like distinctive short voice-acted missions that put you in sometimes shared locations with a clear like point-by-point objective. And then like I just thought I was like, whoa, that's crazy. It's a cool game. Yeah, they made Hideo Kojima do a real thing, like from the video game.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima came out of the video game world. Okay, what about an ability? Maybe like call it like Double Down or something, and it gives you a chance to, as soon as I said, pull like 2 collectibles instead of 1, or to give you like extra trash loot out of a chest.
Oh, that's smart. Should that be a special ability feat?
Sure, yeah, you can add that as a special ability feat.
I think we might have too many of those. Is kind of what
Oh, we just cut something else.
Yeah, in worst case scenario, we can always just move it. I like that.
Yeah, so
what's
just
that
like
be called? Double vision? Double yoink? Ready to put yoink.
Lucky Find. Or something. And then, yeah, it gives you a chance to like, a chance to whatever, I don't know what the percent is, but some amount of chance to find 2 collectibles when you pull a collectible, or for a chest to have twice as many items. When you loot it, it just has a chance to have double the loot in it.
I know for a fact that second one's not possible for how DDO does this loot,
yeah, but this is in the future. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
It belongs in a museum. No, we already have that. So it belongs in a museum. Is this ability down here that says you can have 2 minor artifacts equipped at the same time?
I wish we did more of these kinds of trees in the actual game, because the ability of messing with like the meta systems like that, like the idea of this character has less stats because that ability doesn't give you anything, but it does give you more stats. So it's like, is that worth it versus another tier 5 that might give more stats? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, because you might have to actually make that decision for yourself.
Yeah.
So the question of what to focus on, the focus is on crossbow. There's a lot of melee already in the game, and this character gets access to swashbuckling if you did just want to use short swords instead. So there's like the tree has a crossbow bend to it, but it's not like the whip is separate from crossbow, so you can ignore the crossbow stuff if you just want to use a melee weapon instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. So we still got these cores. So what are like the key things that this character class does? Key abilities that, like, I am a treasure hunter. I'm an action archaeologist. So core 3 should be either inactive or something that is like present. Core 6 should be a cool power-up that represents the class. The area of study I feel like fits pretty good in here. I don't know what 18 does. 18 is usually just a pile of passive stats that are pretty good. And then 20, I have no idea.
So I'm thinking about this. I think that the feat Die Hard, I don't know. Part of me thinks the first core should be like, like some of these should give sneak attack dice. I mean, I don't know.
I actually don't mind sneak attack dice. What if you just get a sneak attack dice for per core because we just took it out of the class?
Yeah, but then like you're not taking it out of the class. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but assassin already got it back, so assassin rogue already has more because assassin gets like 12.
Yeah, assassin does get a lot.
Because
That's a
assassin
good
gets
point.
4 going up. Tier 5, it's got 3, and the capstone's 4. So it's like
I would do each core ability other than this one, other than the first one gives sneak attack, because I don't want 1 point being one.
yeah,
sneak
each
attack
core
dice.
ability after this one gives sneak attack. True. Also, taking 1 level for 1 sneak attack is probably a lot too, or 2 basically. I've done second roll on trap disarm yet. Oh, what if you can't critically fail traps? So you fail, but they don't blow. So let's just say you take this and you critically fail, it doesn't explode. So you can try again or do something else.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that for core 3. I like core 6 being a dirty copy of Assassin's Trick because it's super overpowered. I mean, they call it Hat Trick, and you throw a hat at someone, and when the hat lands on them, they get Assassin's Tricked.
Sure, that sounds good to me. I like it. Just literally steal it word for word.
Yeah.
Effects have a chance to proc a whip attack, and the chance to increases the effects of the cores of the whip. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. What if there's like a high damage whip attack that when you're attacking with your crossbow, it has every attack has a chance to activate the whip attack that then just does a bunch of damage. You're like, whoosh, as a signature.
I think
that
would be cool. I think that would get really annoying if you're just like, because like if Sam, an inquisitive treasure hunter here, right?
Yeah.
And I'm standing in the Fall of Truth off in the corner, and we've just been, DPSing the Truthful one for like 20 minutes. Every 45
you haven't done Fall of Truth
seconds.
in a long time.
I mean, I'm just go with me here. Go with me here.
Yeah.
I'm soloing it by running around in a big circle. So every 12 seconds, I'm hearing a whip crack noise, even though no monster is near me.
Well, it's not automatic. It gives you it's you know how it's like it gains a charge, right? So think about how how opportunity attack works in Kensai, where it has like a charge, and then it has every time you hit a monster, you have a 10% chance to gain a charge of your attack, so you can use it again.
What if it was like I do. What if it was like a reactive thing? Because like what I want to avoid is I want to avoid the visual of a whip going off that's not hitting anybody. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well you would choose to use it, right? So it would be like you attack.
I know. I'm thinking about your original thigh. I'm noodling on the original idea of some sort of autonomous whip attack. What if it was like?
Oh, I never wanted an autonomous whip attack. Oh, that's probably Axlit's, but that was not mine. I don't want that.
I want an autonomous whip attack. I want there to be some sort of like reactive thing where it's like if someone tries to attack you in melee, you whip them. You know what I mean?
And it's like a stun.
Yeah, yeah, it goes off pretty rarely, but like
True, it's in Fantasyland. It only happens when they're in reach.
Yes.
It's programmed to only get monsters within a certain radius.
So I mean, like, yeah, we have like like reflective on hit, but like on melee.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yes, it is possible to have ability to like pull a lever through a gate, and that would just break quest progression.
Yeah, you'd break a lot of quests.
Yeah, our quests have this kind of assumption that certain things are triggered in order, and it's pretty fundamental to how like the story kind of unfolds within the context of like checking off objectives. Like it's a big checklist, and some of that checklist has to happen in order. So you get into situations where if somebody, I call it rail jumps, as it were, like they jump off of the rails, they might actually just break the quest. Like you might have things waiting for things that don't. Yeah.
Dimension Door is the prime example of that. Sometimes, like all the quests that have the you can't cast Dimension Door anymore is because you break the quest when you cast Dimension Door.
Yeah, that's our big like stop that.
Yeah.
Like kind of thing. Oh, deflect arrows, but it does a whip sound effect.
Deflect arrows is in Swashbuckler.
Fuck.
So it's already there. So we don't need a whip sound effect because it's already
okay. New thing, new class feature added.
Yeah.
Whip deflection.
Oh, if you have deflect arrows, it plays a whip animation.
Deflect arrows goes off. You visually hit the projectile. I'll with a whip if you have one. There we go.
Oh
All right,
wait,
and you just get that at
and
level 1.
oh wait. Trailblazer. I'm blazing the trail by stealing more abilities. Trailblazer has an effect where when you deflect arrows, you gain stats.
Oh yeah, we can totally do that now. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, when deflect arrows triggers, you gain a 10% action bonus to double strike for 6 seconds. So just say when deflect arrows triggers, or like with this effect, you gain a 10% bonus to double strike and double shot for 6 seconds. You deflect an
Yeah,
arrow and then boom, boom, you got the refire. Yeah,
yeah, I like
tier 2
that.
left side staff deflection on Trailblazer if you want to see that. But what if when the whip goes up, it also blasts a knockoff Indiana Jones theme? It takes the bad recorder version of the Indiana Jones theme. So that way, it's perfectly legit.
Where do you think like the deflect thing should go? Because my joke one was at level 1, and I feel like that's not good.
Oh, the
I'm
joke one?
thinking
Yeah. Well, you could. I would
it
imagine it
has to
would probably have to go
be
into a core somewhere.
kind of late because deflect arrows is not like tier 1 in Swashbuckler. It's in like tier
It's tier 2.
3, tier 2.
Yeah, deflect arrows is very easy to get. It's 6 points in Vistani because it's the second core. It's level 3. Level 3,
That's
4. It's a
right.
level 1 monk feat. Everybody has deflect arrows at endgame.
It's so good. Why did we do that?
I don't know. Everybody has deflect arrows.
Oh my god. We should
Everybody.
start giving it to monsters, and then that'll fix that problem.
Um, so there was supposed to be a stat called missile deflection added in Ravenloft, and there's deflection penetration as a stat in on the character sheet, but it's on no items in the whole game.
I believe we have so percentage deflection is I actually think on the esoteric set in Ravenloft, but
Oh
not
no, no, we can
penetration.
get missile deflection, but
Yeah.
monster deflection penetration is a stat that's in the sheet that is
I
not in
think
the
it's
game.
only on champions. I don't think we actually put that stat on anything that isn't a champion.
Yeah, because some champions have deflect arrows, but yeah, we can't get
Yeah.
it. It's one of those weird quirks where when you open the character sheet and you look in where the double strike is, there's a monster deflection penetration
No,
0%.
I know where it is.
I love it.
I'm thinking about
Oh, wand and scroll
something else.
mastery is in mechanic, right?
Oh, that is. It is a mechanic.
What if it's also here and it stacks?
Does that even work? I did that with
I've never tested it, so I
Shadow
don't know if it
Dancer.
works.
I think that works.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that works. Oh, Indiana Jones is probably never afraid, so I like that.
Oh, fear
Um,
immunity.
yeah,
Yeah, you
getting
can just shove
saves
that in
versus
somewhere.
fears. Yeah. Um,
Well, I would just say like you could just put it like in the cores, like core 18. It's just part of that.
sure. I was gonna do put it as like a
Fearless.
low.
Oh, whoops! I'm typing in the
Sure.
wrong place. Fearless treasure hunter. Um, you know, you are now immune to fear. Uh, something in there. Also, I got to spell treasure properly. That would help. Except against snake. Yeah, you could probably put in some other bonus like that. I don't know what the capstone would be. What's a good idea for a capstone? It has to be something like big, exciting, huge. Even is chest blessing in this tree yet? Because I feel like that should be a tier 5. I don't know where that goes. I'm just gonna copy the effect from the other thing.
Sorry, I can't talk while I'm typing, or else my brain stops working.
Yeah, it's all good.
Uh, um, yeah, I don't know where chess blessing would go beyond putting it more in the non-combat tier 5, which doesn't seem like a bad place. The idea that like you're trading metagame stuff for raw stats, you know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I would put it lower than I would put it in tier 4 maybe.
Tier
No,
4.
tier 4 needs like a 3-point thing. Because it's like can't just all do
Yeah,
1
so it
point.
can't. Yeah. It does need a 3-point thing.
Um, this is coming together. This is really coming together.
The highest of your I really like something that is done for the Epic Destinies, and I wish that more things in the future come with this of the highest of X or X and giving people the option to pick whatever stat they're using. I think that's the best part about Epic Destinies is they're really flexible. And so this tree being Dex or Charisma, having like the chest bless be highest of Dex or Charisma. Are you a Charisma one? It's good. Are you a Dex one? It's good. It's because it's like you don't get penalized, especially in like a tier 5. You don't get penalized for picking the wrong stat.
Oh yeah, someone in chat actually has a good point. I feel like the 2 mana artifact should be core 20 seems too nice for a tier 5. You're right.
Yeah, and also you can't equip artifacts
Also
at
you
12.
can't equip artifacts below level 20, so that needs to go in the level 21.
Yeah, so that does seem like a really good ability.
Yeah. So we can put that in there. That's a good call.
Yeah, and +2 Dex and Charisma, easy.
Yeah. I mean that's strong because it's more than just +2 Dex and Charisma too. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
didn't
it's
want.
100% more, but just all the tier 5s have like +2.
I know. I'm saying like I'm thinking to myself like. I mean, I guess it's only like 3 or 4 sets, but there are set bonuses.
Well, you have to understand it's with in the future. This is 2087, so their artifacts have 11 filigree slots now. That's
Oh,
an
I
extra.
forgot.
That's an extra 11 filigree
I
slots.
forgot I did that. Oh no.
Yeah, you forgot
um,
about the future.
I forgot about the future.
Sonic damage on crossbow attacks and whip ability to represent a gunshot and a whip crack. So a whip attack that does a bunch of sonic damage is awesome, or an upgrade that does sonic damage would be awesome.
Oh, I love that.
Because the sonic
Um,
damage on hit is already in Swashbuckler. So a lot of these ideas that you guys have that are really good are just in Swashbuckler.
all right, the
So
whip
there's that.
upgrade, which is
Yeah.
I'm gonna call like whip crack. Now dazes all enemies that aren't triple and deals 1d6 sonic damage per level to all enemies going with ranged power.
Oh, it's like an AoE. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and it makes a big whip cha noise. You know,
Sonic damage per whatever character, action archaeologist level.
rogue level.
Yeah, rogue level. Because a D6 Sonic is like a little low, but a D6 per rogue level.
But
Now
it's the
we're
thing is like
cooking
this
with
is this is this is
grease.
auxiliary damage. This is
Yeah.
auxiliary damage for a CC ability. This is very strong. The trip, and then the days for this that can't be tripped. Like this is AOE CC. We gotta be light about it.
So the whip it good is an AoE whip attack like Shader Kai, but I think this needs to be able to um only usable with finessable weapon or light crossbow.
Oh, I was gonna say like literally you have to be in whip mode, which is the light crossbow plus.
Oh, is whip mode just whip shooter? Oh yeah.
I
Is
mean,
there could there be a multi-selector if you want to use like a because he uses like a machete in the movies and stuff?
how do you know that? You've never seen
Because
the
somebody in
movies.
chat wrote it.
Does somebody? Is
I
that somebody?
implicitly believe my chat.
Um. All right, I do believe chat.
I was just thinking because in case you wanted to use this but not be a ranged character.
He does use a little machete. Lies. Unbelievable. You betray me like this. Uh, I
So I think that I
guess.
just think that like it doesn't need to be tied to whip shooting, the whip abilities.
I mean, maybe it's one of those things where we're like, maybe it's like this is an add-on to Swashbuckler, where it's like Whip Shooter is an alternate Swashbuckler mode if you have an empty offhand. Like it fills your offhand, so anything that you could swashbuckle with,
Yeah, that could be fine.
and then you get the swashbuckle with light and heavy crossbows. That makes the Whip Shooter thing very like whip attacker.
Yeah. Whip
Um,
specialist. I don't know. We'll come up with something. Oh, you're late. This is the rogue subclass, the action archaeologist. Action
all
archaeologist.
right.
Yeah.
I'll write the worst tooltip of my life. No swashing with
Yeah.
empty offhand.
U150.
Yeah.
Yes, this is for U156 exactly. You should make the whip crossbow have 6 charges that recharge because he runs out of bullets. Yeah, but it's like an actual crossbow. And running out of bullets sucks. Call it the cool whip. It's just an ice ability called Cool Whip because we can. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, you know what I should do? I should get this available for share so people can like read it if they want.
Hmm.
Uh,
The Cool Whip. I like it. Okay. Worst tooltip ever. While swashbuckling with an empty offhand, you automatically equip a whip that you can use for special abilities. You can
yep.
swashbuckle with light and heavy crossbows. So it's like this tree operates in a strange place where it's actually kind of an add-on to the swashbuckler tree,
Yeah.
which is
It's
interesting because it's like for example the deflect arrows upgrade, you'd have to get it from swashbuckler anyway,
yeah. Or some other source.
or yeah,
Like you're
or
a
some other
tabaxi or
source.
you something else. But yeah, I actually think that's kind of cool that they're like tied together. Like there's like a cool synergy between the two.
Hmm.
So the Anti-Rex with snake blood. Why did it have to be snakes? That's like one of the best abilities in this whole tree.
I hate
Oh
that
yeah.
favored. It's trying to change it to favored. You know what I
It's
mean?
because it's mine. So
Oh, the
I have
British English.
British English because I'm Canadian. I'm very sorry.
All right, here's a problem.
Yeah, what's the
There's
problem?
a lot of things in Swashbuckler that talk about bard songs.
Yeah.
I gotta get rid of those.
Oh yeah, that's an easy cut. Easy cut.
Yeah, we gotta just get rid of that.
So here's the idea. So we got tons of stuff in Bard songs. But that's the easiest cut ever. Watch this.
it's actually only one thing. It's just one. It's actually just one thing.
Where's Swashbuckler?
Oh, blow by blow, not doing sonic damage, being a bug. Nah, fixed that one. Gotta edit the wiki real quick.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we got
Get out of there.
confidence, none of that other stuff. All the cores have nothing to do with it, which is great. Yeah, it's basically just tavern shanties, which gives bonuses to bard songs. There's also stuff in here that costs spell points. But I would just assume you just make the ones that cost spell points have no spell point cost.
Cost health. Screw it.
Okay, yeah, health cost. Also perfect. Good idea.
Also perfect.
Um,
Um,
yep, yep, yeah, seems good.
we could also give this rogue spell points. Like we don't have to, but like that is an option.
Yeah, sure, just give him spell points, but use a dex scaler.
Yeah.
Then we have dex to mana. That'd be stupid, but yeah. This doesn't need to have spell points. It just you can even leave the literally tavern shanties in it. Just get bard songs if you have
It's
bard
just I
songs.
mean, yeah. Like I at that point I'm assuming that
It's
the
the only thing in the whole tree that has bard reference, so you could change it as well. Just make it something. It's a tier 1. So there's skills here. You can make it bard songs, just make it attack. 1 2 3 attack. I don't know.
oh, a single resurrection ability to represent the Holy Grail. You should get a self raise.
Get a single resurrection ability to represent. Wait, raise yourself in my
Yeah.
DDO?
Yeah.
Oh geez. Is this a tier
Holy
5
Grail.
now?
Yeah. Bring yourself back to life.
Oh my god, it's just monk 2?
Oh, I had an idea. I
Uh-huh.
had an idea. I had an
Oh yeah.
idea. And
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
actually this is game design here. So when you use this ability, it brings you back to life, but you cannot do it again until you find another Holy Grail in a random chest.
Oh, you need to find another named item.
Like not another named item. Like literally, I will dynamically generate something called Holy Grail that when you pick up gives you a charge of this ability back.
Oh, and you can only have one holy grail at a time in your
Yes,
inventory, and then once it's not in your inventory, the game will place them if you have this enhancement. That's an awesome idea. So you have to be constantly looting. And you can get holy grails from chests and collectibles, I guess.
just chests. Like I can add
Yeah.
things to a reward list in a chest, and when you pick it up, just the same way you pick up Guild Renown and it like crumbles in your fists and you just get the thing. Same deal. You get the Holy Grail, crumbles in your fist, and you get one charge.
Yeah. And presumably this would come back in a tavern.
No,
No, but it wouldn't come back on rest. Yeah, not come back on rest. You have to loot. So it's basically once per raid. Resting doesn't bring it back. Maybe? Oh, that would be so annoying. I don't know.
the idea that you have to go out and prep this self raise by finding something in an unrelated dungeon before you go into a raid is, I think, within the bounds of annoying cool. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because the ability is resurrecting yourself from the dead.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. It's annoying, but it's like it's a self raise. It's pretty good.
It sounds weird, but I think we have so much unique stuff that we kind of have to put in the filler.
Yeah, when is update 158? Yeah, 2089. Yeah.
28 and
Okay, so we only have a few spots left. I was gonna say we could put critical mastery in here because it's just a good generic, like you're a melee guy.
easy.
It's in
That makes sense.
swashbuckler.
Dang it. Put it in there anyway.
Um, just hit and damage. Oh man, I'm just trying to think of what else would fit in here. I'm staring at all this stuff down. So yeah, swashbuckler. You don't even need to change swashbuckler. Honestly, just leave the bard songs. No one takes the bard songs anyway.
I take the
And if
bard
you
song.
multi-class as bard, you have bard songs.
That's the thing is you can't I will you can't be in the same tree twice. Like you can't be in swashbuckler and swashbuckler.
Yeah, you just
Um
they're anti-races. It's like Vanguard and Vanguard.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see in here. Oh, use magic device. That's a great.
Oh yeah. That's just like a good tier 2, like plus 1, 2, 3 UMD. That's
Yeah, that's a good
in
one.
Oh, it's in mechanic. Damn it.
Oh man, it's in mechanic.
You won't believe why I know that too. That's the worst part.
Okay, what if you said you wanted a tier 4? Tier 4, um, artifact attunement or relic attunement, UMD, and magic resistance rating. So
Easy.
because it's a
Love
tier
it.
4, so it's plus 1 UMD and plus 2 MRR. So at 3 points, it's plus 6 magic resistance rating, which would normally be 10 in another tree, and 3 UMD as well.
All right. No problem. That sounds good.
Um,
What else
how do
is
you how do
there?
you how do you do that? Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
3
like I like
UMD
with the plus at the beginning and not pluses in the middle. You know what I
and
mean?
plus 2, 4, 6 MRR.
All right.
Perfect.
The tier 5, we need something that actually gives people stats.
Yeah, because there's no stats in here. I still think an eye for detail should just give you like 10 double strike, double shot, or something like that.
I we should do so like Inquisitive has this thing where it's like ranged power and alacrity. We should just put that out someplace. Where
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, and then we just hit them with that. There we go. And that's now it's a good tier
Beautiful. I
5.
love it. Because here's the thing. You might say, yeah, but what if I'm like playing melee with this thing? Here's the dealio. If you're playing melee, there's a swashbuckler tree, dude. Go over there. This effect is also in mechanic.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Yeah, it's in mechanic, isn't it?
But it's like that's the thing. It's like it's in
But it's
tier
a tier
5.
5. So yeah, so it's exclusive. So yeah, it's probably
It's
fine to
fine.
put it in here. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
It's fine.
fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna be thinking about this and you're gonna know immediately what's going on. Um, if this had some sort of like on-hit damage thing, like a law damage from Inquisitive or poison damage from like Assassin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should this do some sort of type of damage on hit?
Like with attacks, what is the damage that you would do on hit? What about,
I don't know.
because you could do a damage on hit.
Hmm.
You could say something. What if, so every other damage is like elemental, right? So you've got like law damage or whatever. What if it's straight up piercing damage?
Oh,
Like physical
maybe
damage?
I don't know. That's kind of like doubling up on what it's already doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have one.
I'm just
Like,
thinking like it would be neat to take a different direction because the physical damages, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing don't have like a, you know, a thing. There's
to
no
address the
reason not
chat.
to. It's still resisted, but
Yeah. To address the chat question, the treasure hunter rogue can disarm traps.
can disarm traps. Yeah.
You don't need to have intelligence in every tree to do traps.
Yeah, you can do traps. Also, this has the mechanic tree in it. So this
Yeah,
character loses thief, acrobat, and assassin, but you still have mechanic, so you can do all that nonsense.
yeah. I
That's
guess
why it's hard.
what other parts from assassin would be cool? Because assassin's trick is like the big standout thing. Obviously not assassinate. I feel like that's too
That would be
iconic.
too much. Yeah.
Um, yeah, the other
Well,
stuff
because
in
the
here is like
light armor stuff from assassins in swashbuckler.
yeah. And then
Uh,
there's
I
an
never realized
unused
how
frankly
similar bard and rogue trees were.
Yeah, it's really. I
It's
think we
just
could easily do a
yeah.
dirty copy of Nimbleness and just shove that in tier 5 or something. Um, I don't know if that's good enough for a tier 5. 6% dodge is pretty good. I actually don't mind this having a lot of tier 5 similarities with Swatch, like the light armor mastery. Like,
Yeah, but doesn't the swashbuckler do something different? I swear, I swear it
they
does.
have second skin, reflexive saves and max dex bonus, and then light armor master is PRR and max dex bonus.
Okay, okay. What if there's a bluff effect? So you know how Inquisitive has like a thing where when you diplomacy people, you get like extra stats? What if when you bluff people, you get extra stats?
That's solid.
So
Put that in
it's
tier
like taunt
3.
your foe, it does something.
That's
And
great. I
it's
like
like a
that in
tier
tier
5.
3 or
Tier 5?
oh, in tier 5?
Yeah, make it like when you taunt a foe, you gain like range power, melee power, blah blah blah. And you're encouraged to keep using your bluff abilities on people.
I would rather have that more core to the tree.
Okay, so like tier 3 or 4 or something?
Yeah, like earlier on, and I think there's space to do a tier 2 and tier 3 upgrade.
Sure. Yeah, I'll shove it in here.
Okay, for tier 5, I have an idea. It's where we simply
Oh, it's just
merge
Shadow
the
Dodge? I do love Shadow Dodge. It's very good.
yeah. My idea for tier 5, the missing one, is we simply merge the assassin light armor mastery and the swashbuckler second skin.
Yeah.
So they both give max dex bonus. One gives reflex saves, one gives PRR. So
Max Dex bonus, reflex saves, and PRR.
this one should give PRR and reflex saves, so not max dex bonus. So between the three of them, they each do two things once. Make a triangle.
Yeah, but this tier 5 is very, very not offensive.
That's true. What do we call this? Like out in the nick of time or something? And it's like just get +6 to all of those.
Sure, that sounds. Well, you can. So I think that the idea you had of making the triangle, I think, is good. I just think that we at this point, yeah, you really got to shove like an eye for detail gives you double strike, double shot. Call it a day.
Mm, okay. All right.
Get an auto bluff like Inquisitive. No, you got to do it yourself. I really hate the auto diplo from Inquisitive, especially considering Inquisitive gets a second one. I think that's just like it's silly.
What I
You just have
don't
to keep
like
pressing the
is
key.
I don't like this note here of like bug diplomacy works on everything, including doors, levers, other players, etc. What that is that means that's a misconfigured monitor. Like the detection is not ethereal to the right type of thing, and that actually causes performance problems. Not a lot of performance problems, but over time it adds up. And so I'm probably going to take a look at that because that's just like not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds kind of bad.
Yeah. What did I say? PRR and reflex saves. All right. I gave up and put 5% double shot on this thing. I think it should also give range power and not double strike. Because it's a range tree.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds good. Just because, yeah, I was thinking in case you wanted to use it. Because if you like, if he has double shot and double strike or whatever, there's no, you can't use both of those stats. Like
I
if
know,
you,
but I'm very mean, and I don't like giving out stats to those horrible players.
okay, so the inquisitive one is when you diplomacy, you gain PRR, MRR, and magic resistance. Yeah, PRR, MRR, and armor class, and that's like kind of boring. And then it upgrades into fortification bypass. So when you use bluff on an enemy, um,
Should it just double buff them? Like, should we be putting debuffs on them rather than buffing you?
yeah, or it could be both. It could be like, um, you gain like the first is like you gain like a confidence or something, so you're like more confident because you're like taunting them, and the second one debuffs them. So like the first one is like maybe you gain plus something hit and damage for a short duration, like +1 to hit damage and critical confirm or whatever, and then the second one is it like instead of buffing you, it like reduces monster's fortification of the monster you're bluffing
Yeah.
or something.
Rather than hit damage and seeker, I would do seeker and sneak attack because I kind of like when those two are put together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, that's cool. That's a cool mirror of the thing. I think this should be called bluff your way out of it. Um, oh, we're missing tier ones. How did this happen?
Yeah, I figured tier 1 you can have health.
Oh yeah, tough
5,
or
10,
something.
15. Health is good because it's nowhere in any of the trees. Health seems good here because I figured like Indiana Jones when I see him on the covers, I ain't seen the movies, but when you see him on like the front of the like the box or on the poster, he's like all dirty. He's like rough and tumble, so he'd have extra health. Makes sense.
I call this leather coat for 15 maximum HP. Um, and
Yeah.
need like one more thing. One second, I think my partner's about to eat my spaghetti.
Um.
All right, not to
Mhm.
worry. We're gonna split the rest of the spaghetti.
Gonna eat the spaghetti. It's like no, you
I
can't have
well,
that
it's
happen.
tricolor rotini. Like it's really good. Um, like it's one of my favorite types of pasta. Um, like, do you have a favorite kind of pasta? Because honestly, tricolor anything is really good.
Honestly, so favorite color pasta or favorite kind of pasta. I like smaller pasta. So
Yeah.
like angel hair
Ooh,
pasta. Um,
angel hair is good. That's my favorite. That's my favorite of the
Yeah, or
long
sorry, no,
pasta.
yeah, there's a long pasta. I like the bow ties. I love the bow tie pasta. That one's
But
pretty
those are
good.
good. What are your
And
thoughts on? I
also
think it's
any stuffed pasta, tortellinis, your raviolis. Oh yeah.
what about like capellottavi? That's like the long elbows, like the really long curly ones.
Ooh, I don't think I've had a long curly elbow.
Very good. It's very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Um, all right, we
I'll
need
have to,
like another. Oh, plus 5 HP per each leather item equipped. I love it. I love that. That's great. We can even do that too.
wait, what plus for each leather item equipped? Oh, because like rings and bracers will be made of leather. Oh, that's so wacky. Oh, you said wait, so then the meta would shift where people are like, oh, I can't use this bracer because this is a ferro crystal one. I can't use that. I gotta get a
That's
leather.
great. That's
Oh,
actually
perfect
great.
idea.
Genius.
Actually amazing, yeah.
Genius. Um,
I can't believe we're gonna start with Batman, who like everything is free.
it's like simply a billionaire. You can just pay money and monsters will fuck off. Well,
Yeah.
it's like that's the Batman thing is like you show up, you absolutely beat the shit out of everybody, but you're not allowed to kill anybody. Like you can only subdue them.
Yep.
Rugged.
I don't know.
All right, solid.
I was trying to think of something,
Uh,
and that seemed like it would fit.
so this is good. This is a weirdly defensive tree, which is interestingly fun.
Yeah. I don't love that
Um,
it has 2 skills in tier 1. I don't like this.
yeah. Stealthy doesn't really fit
Yeah.
comparatively. Compared to charming, which is like
Just
more.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we can cut that one and find a different tier one. Did you want to do the action boost?
Oh, an action boost here?
Yeah, we could
We
we could do that, or we can move something in tier two down to tier one.
because you could put trip focus tier 2 down to tier 1 because Paladin has like Sunder focus in tier 1.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Stealthy gone. Stealthy's out of there, and we need an action boost, which, if I'm being lazy, would be action boost skills, because they're a rogue.
That's
What action
in
boosts they
that's in
lose?
mechanic. They lose
All right, they
action
lost.
boost damage.
Oh,
Attack
they lose
attack damage.
haste boost from Thief Acrobat. We could just put haste boost in there. Oh,
Wait,
that's in Swashbuckler.
haste boost is not.
It's
Swashbuckler
not.
gets
It's not
6 points double strike. Double
bad.
shot.
Bad. I'll fix that for
Yeah,
57 literally
Swashbuckler's
right
major
now.
problem is it's not that bad. It's just everything costs 2 in the whole tree.
I'm
Even
like
the
literally
3
fixing this right
pointers.
now.
Yeah.
I'm tabbing into our version control. I'm tired of this.
'Cause, yeah, like it's because I'm like it's so cool. That's why I think there's the double strike in um the druid tree, which is 1 point each for the action boost, and it's really good. And then there's the it's not haste boost, but it's great for leveling. And the paladin one, the sacred fist, is so cool because double strike gives you more key, so it's like really synergistic. And then the bard
Okay.
one, which started it all, is 6 points.
So bad news. I cannot buff Swashbuckler right now because Torque is actually in the Bard files.
Oh no,
So
well
I cannot do
it can
that.
go on the whiteboard.
I can go on the whiteboard. I mean, haste boost. If it's not in Swashbuckler
It's
and it
no no.
was in Thief Acrobat, then it should
So
be
it can be
available to be
so
here.
haste boost and action boost melee range power are both good here.
Yeah, I like to do haste just because Indiana Jones runs away a lot. Like
Well, haste
it
is that's
seems.
sprint boost. You're thinking of sprint boost.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I
haste
mean,
boost
oh,
is
oh
attack speed.
snap.
And
That's right.
also
With the
you
purple
have
one.
the other one is this in this character. It's also got the movement speed already. You get movement speed from Bard Swashbuckler, and you get movement speed from the Treasure Hunter, where if you pick a collectible, you get more move speed.
All right.
I think
Well,
Action Boost Haste sounds good.
yeah, seems fine.
I'm going to go copy it from Disney.
Excellent.
This is coming together.
I
And
feel like
couldn't have
this
done it
did
without
come together.
chat. You guys had so many good ideas today.
Chat, the leather item thing, that's great.
That's
Like,
amazing. What a good
that's
idea. Okay, so quick check of the tree here and final check of some other stuff. So Core 18 Fearless Treasure Hunter sucks. You don't take
Core
falling damage and
18.
you're immune to fear. That's not what I want at level 18. I'm
We could
going
just give
into
you a whole bunch
Sharn.
of
Monsters
stats.
have 2,000 damage or 2,000 health.
We could just add more stats on top of this.
Yeah, exactly. But what stats go in here?
Um, does this the place where we want to do? What about this? What's a good word for like very acrobatic?
Um, very acrobatic, exceptional something. I don't know. Yeah. Lithe is also good.
So we
Acrobatic.
just basically just have this be nothing but movement speed related stuff. Like auxiliary related stuff. You know what I mean? Like you can no longer be slowed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or hamstrung. There we go.
You can't be slowed or
And
hamstrung.
you can run at full speed. Brace yourself through ankle deep water.
It's just all speed.
There you go.
It does a lot
Not be
of
slowed
speedy
down.
stuff. The thing is, this character can't be bad because you get 2 artifacts, so it's already really broken. Like, it
This
doesn't
is
even matter if
great.
it's like, oh, we didn't add any melee power. Don't worry, you have 2 artifacts. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's like 20 melee power. Like,
It's more than that.
oh, the doubles. That's right.
Yeah, you double it, and then also that's all these set bonuses you get too. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
You can no longer be slowed. What if it's your movement speed can't go below 100%? So it's not that you can't be slowed, it says you can't have below 100%. So you can be slowed to 100%.
Sure.
Because I feel like that's a little bit more appropriate. So like if say you have an incredible movement speed and then you red alert something, a monster can slow you down to 100.
That's fair.
Because I feel like slow immunity would probably break quests among other things.
Well, this is in a hypothetical future where everything is going to work perfectly.
4-4-12 looks weak since we don't use the lore feats for anything. Yeah, but
I
it
mean,
also
in this
gives you a sneak
hypothetical
attack dice.
future, yeah, in this hypothetical future, lore feats are also way more relevant
Yeah, you can use
content-wise.
them for all sorts of wacky stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it's there. Like, dude, update 156 is hype. Action Archaeologist, Rogue Archetype, let's go.
I like the idea of this kind of game design where we can just assume that other parts of the game simply work how we imagine them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this ability's bad. Like, actually, the game is different than that. So no, it's not. Um, you
Actually, you
seeing
know what?
anything
I
else?
agree. I think immunity to fear doesn't fit into here, but it would. Knowledge helps prevent fear. You just shove it into area of study.
Oh yeah.
There we go. You're immune to fear. You're immune to fear. Oh, wait a minute. What if it's not immune to fear? Arcane, primal, you're immune to fear. Religious lore, you're immune to like curses because it's like curses are religious. And arcane, you're immune to.
I don't know. Like, I feel like the immunity would be like silence or something. But they don't cast any spells.
Yeah, don't cast any spells. What's a good like arcane? What is something that arcanes do that would be really dangerous? Not even
Something that
really dangerous,
arcanes
but something.
do.
Oh, you're immune to dispel magic.
I like that.
Oh, that would
Um,
be so sick. I would love that. Did
what
they curse
about?
past the harbor? Yes, yes, they do.
Hmm. I know this kind of only bothers me in the early game, but I hate getting exhausted. Um, I
That
don't
could
know
go
if
into exceptional
that.
acrobatics. Immune to fatigue and exhaustion.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that is in Bard War Chanter, and you don't get access to War Chanter.
Oh, immunity to blindness or charm?
You can't be charmed, and blindness. I mean, drink a potion, guys.
I know, but
Well,
like
this
fear
doesn't
and
cast
blindness are
anything.
in the same. Fear and blindness are in the same kind of like just drink a potion. You should be immune to get the augment kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like because immune.
Curse is the odd one out here. Curse is the one that's very strong. The other two are not so good.
Yeah, well, it's because there are things that there's the Heart of Silamanes who makes you immune to fear, and it is an artifact, so it technically doesn't need to be here. So you could replace curse with something else. So what if it was like immune to fear from that, and then primal was immune to? I don't like the idea of immune to poison, but what if it was you are now
You immunities are so
poison
tough.
resistant?
I kind of feel like we should go in a different direction here and give them some sort of weird, like, what if hypothetically speaking, this was rather than like you gain arcane lore for each treasure hunter you have, and then, for example, each arcane lore grants you like, I mean, someone had the idea of skills, and I like the idea of kind of like getting bonus skills if you multi-class. You know what I mean? But like, if each arcane lore granted you something.
Yeah, but the problem is because you can unspec this, right? You can just reverse the tree, so it has to be a temporary bonus.
I know, but like if each arcane lore granted you like +1 spot and search, then it's not like a temporary. It's not a permanent thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it would only apply here,
Yeah.
but that would also be plus 20 spot and search.
So
All right, sounds good to me. It definitely makes it easier to gear on a first life character. Getting 100
yeah,
search on a first lifer is an interesting challenge.
I mean, maybe like every other.
Each primal lore feat you have, you gain plus 1% poison absorption. I don't know how to spell absorption, but you can save me, computer. Ah, perfect. Because I feel like poison absorb would be great if you're primal lore, and that's not overpowered because there's ton. It's getting immunity to poison absorb is as simple as taking the shadow dancer primal or like mantle. So you need
Yeah,
poison.
I'm actually thinking these might be like skill based, like spot and search, and then maybe like religious being UMD, and then I don't know how to get primal to be disabled device and open lock. Um, Maybe spot
No,
and search are primal, and disabled device and open lock are arcane.
that could work. Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Here,
fine.
let me copy and paste this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be charmless is Margot Kidder. Never heard of him. I didn't watch the movie. Does have a tolerance to poison like on a blimp. Yeah. Um.
Oh, this is the wrong one here. And that way, if you multi-class into something, you actually do get those bonus skills. I actually really like this.
If I mean, you could also, if he has a tolerance to poison, you could put like somewhere like core 3 instead of steady hands. Call it like, adventuring, something, and then also throw in you get like 2 saves versus poisons or something.
Sure, I'm okay with that. We could also
Yeah.
do like a rank 3 thing, where it's like some sort of triple thing here, like adds that.
Oh, you could
Um,
just also just shove it in. Why did it have to be snakes? Favorite enemy animal, 2 saves versus poison.
yeah, done.
Yeah, that's
Did
fine.
it.
There we go. That's a
All
poison
right, the
thing.
last thing we have to do is the past life.
Yeah, past life feat. It's got to be in here somewhere. Past life. Okay, so
Um,
what does this do? So this character is like a swashbuckly sort of guy. So it was all spell powers for the other ones, which good, but this needs to be like not too offensive, but
I mean,
also be
the
useful.
healing amp was pretty is
Oh,
pretty
the healing
good.
it's 45 healing amp from past lives is pretty good.
I like the skills. I think that's cool. I also think that we could get weird with it and have the like you get 1% named item drop chance per stack.
Oh my god, could you imagine? So you have to get 3 past lives of this to improve your farming forever.
Yeah,
That would be the best past life in the game.
there we go.
That's it. Treasure hunter. Boom. Easy.
Easy. One second. Let me turn this to normal text.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm also going to
We
make
don't have to use
everything.
Comic Sans for everything, by the way. We can change it.
Yeah,
I just like using Comic Sans because it triggers people.
no, we're just gonna hit him with this is my favorite font, Lusitana.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah,
I
wow,
love
look
this
how much
font.
more official this looks. Oh, looks
Yes.
so good.
Well, I think this was pretty good. I think we got pretty close to the ideal Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
important to note this is pre-balanced. So this hasn't hit Lemania. So if some of these numbers are off or wrong, yeah, the Lemania sorts it out.
yeah,
Lemania's fine.
I really like this. This is
This is
actually
a
really
really good
good.
tree. This is a good tree, yeah.
This is good. It's an additive 1%. We're not too crazy over here at Standing Stone Games.
Yeah. Okay. You wanna I'll go over it, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So welcome to the Action Archaeologist Rogue archetype, the one thought up by you guys mostly. We had some ideas, but honestly, this is my favorite part about live streaming is just stealing stuff from chat and pretending it was my idea. So, what is the Action Archaeologist? It is a rogue that changes several things. First, the past life for this one gives you 1% named item drop chance as opposed to the regular rogue past life. And this also obviously counts as a rogue past life for the purposes of completionist. So the feats, you get a bunch of new things. Number one, new feat, which is Treasure Hunter. You gain 1% named item drop chance and +1 random die roll, or +1 to like the Treasure Hunter value. So that's the odds that you find mythic items, Reaper items, and the stats on your random gear at levels 3, 7, 11, 15, and 19 for the total of 5% and bonus 5. Also, as a part of your special abilities, you can now choose 3 new options: Slippery Roll, Yoink, and Lucky Find. Slippery Roll is you get a second roll versus traps. It's like Slippery Mind, but versus traps. Yoink, which adds your Treasure Hunter level. I guess this is Action Archaeologist, so I should update that. So Action Archaeologist Rogue level. To your movement speed after you loot a collectible for a certain amount of time. I don't know how long that is, but when you loot a collectible, it just gives you a movement speed bonus. And then Lucky Find, which is a special ability. So you have a 25% chance to find 2 collectibles instead of 1, and you have a 25% chance to just double your random loot in the chest. So instead of finding like 8 scrolls, you could find 16 scrolls. It's amazing. However, to pay for this, Sneak Attack is removed at the levels you get the Treasure Hunter feat. So you 3, 7, 11, 15, and 19. No more Crippling Strike, and no Slippery Mind. Additionally, the enhancement trees have changed up. Treasure Hunter and Swashbuckler are added, but removed is Thief, Acrobat, and Assassin. So no Quarterstaff tree, no dual wheelie, poisony, stabby rogue tree. That's not what this is all about. But the Treasure Hunter tree, what does it do? Well, you've got your different cores here. You start out getting Die Hard. Also, you get Sneak Attack dice on top of all the things for the future cores. So just remember, these ones also say +1 Sneak Attack dice in the background. Then you get Steady Hands at level 3, so you can no longer critically fail disarming traps. You can still fail, but they don't blow up in your face. At level 6, you get Assassin's Trick with a different name and a hat-throwing animation. At level 12, you get Area of Study, so you can choose either gain Arcane Lore, Religious Lore, or Primal Lore feats. And on top of that, they give you a bonus. You either get Disable Device and Open Lock for Arcane Lore, Use Magic Device for Religious Lore, or Search and Spot for Primal Lore. No, edit this one, Primal Lore. At 18, you get exceptional acrobatics. You no longer you no longer take falling damage. You have faster sneak speed. You can't go below 100% movement speed, and you can run at full speed through ankle deep water. Wow. And then the capstone, it belongs in a museum. +2 dex and charisma, and you have 2 minor artifacts equipped at the same time, which is complete madness and probably will never make it into DDO. But man, update 156 in 2087 is going to be lit. I tell you what. So this character, because you have access to Swashbuckling, there are a lot of things in this tree that have some weird synergy with Swashbuckling, so expect to want to use both of these. You probably don't have to, but you should. So while Swashbuckling, you get a whip in your offhand that you can use for special abilities, so which means you wouldn't be able to equip an orb or something else. It is the whip. So you need an empty offhand effectively, but it's like a special stance where you hold a whip around. You also have some basic stuff, rugged for some PRR, skills, health. The cool thing about the health is at rank 3, you get +5 hit points for each leather item you have equipped, which includes any of your items. They'll have a type at the bottom of them for their durability. Leather gives you 5 more hit points. And then trip focus for trip DCs. That becomes important later. Tier 2, you've got Crossbow Adept. Why did it have to be snakes? Which gives you favorite enemy animal and 2 saves versus poison because animal won the poll. And then bluff your way out of it. So when you bluff an enemy, you gain a stack of confidence, which is just like the inquisitive stack when you diplomacy an enemy, except this gives you accuracy, sneak attack damage, and seeker. And it lasts for 20 seconds before being removed. You also have whip deflection because you get deflect arrows from many different sources. This does not give you deflect arrows, but if you have it, you whip the projectile out of the air instead of it actually just like nothing happened. You actually have an animation, and it grants you double strike and double shot for 10 seconds, and then action boost haste. Tier 3, more crossbow damage. Shadow dodge, which is one of the best abilities in the game. I love that it's still here. And then devastating taunt. So bluff targets have minus fortification, PRR, and MRR. So it's like you're like tearing down their defenses by bluffing them. And then whip it good. This is your first whip attack. It's basically the Shader Kai chain attack, but with a whip. I'm assuming, yeah, this works with finessable weapon and light crossbow. We said that. I guess this would be light or heavy crossbow. Just put
Yeah,
light
probably.
or heavy, probably. And it's an AoE trip. So they're just like the trip attack from Thief Acrobat. And you can use your dex or charisma, whichever one is higher. Plus your stats are dex and charisma. For the tier 4, more crossbow adept, relic attunement, so you get bonus UMD and magic resistance rating. This is higher in the tree because you can get bonus UMD out of mechanic. Whip grapple, so this is the best ability in the whole tree. With this is in the future, so this is not currently, but you can click an enemy, and when you press it, you whip to them and pull yourself to them, or with special grapple points or whip points in the game, you'll be able to whip later. This also is to pair with the grapple beam that the artificer class or archetype gets in the future to whip onto points. It's going to build on that system, or with the arcane planeswalker tree that or archetype that also has the whip in the future, or like the
Also
grapple.
also the Bullywug playable race where you can stick out your tongue
You can
and get
tongue
pulled
whip
to
to a
it.
whip point, which is where the
Yes.
whip points were initially added, of course. So
Yes.
keep that in mind. It's going to use that same whip point system for all your quests. And then whip crack. So your whip attack, if they don't get tripped, you daze them and it does sonic damage. I assume the sonic damage is before the daze because it would
That's
break
correct.
afterwards. And then finally, tier 5, we have the creme de la creme crossbow master, basic crossbow ability, great. In the nick of time, PRR and reflex saves. Chest bless, where you bless a chest, except it uses highest of dex or charisma. Eye for detail, you automatically search traps and other things. You get double shot and range power. And the Holy Grail, it is an active that brings you back to life. But it uses a Holy Grail charge. To get your Holy Grail charge back, you have to loot chests to find a Holy Grail. You can't stockpile them. If you have a Holy Grail, you cannot find another one, and it can check your bank and your TR cache. So if there's one in your TR cache, you got to pull that out there. And if you don't have one, you will randomly find Holy Grails until you find one, and then you've got your charge back. And that is the Action Archeologist.
I love this.
Honestly, Action
I
Archeologist
love
is
this.
amazing. I
This
love it.
is so good.
Yeah.
This is so good. Oh my god, the Holy Grail.
Yep.
I might actually build something like this for a treasure. It's so fun.
Yeah. I love
Like
Action
the
Archeologist.
oh my gosh. Originally I was kind of met on the lore feats, but the idea of tying them into skills for the multi-class benefit I think is actually
Yep.
really cool. Um I love how unconventional this tree is. Like it's really leaning on other trees for supplemental damage because you just get to do wacky shit. Like it's
Yeah,
so
it does not
good.
have a lot of damage in and of itself, but the top tier abilities, it belongs in a museum, gives you 2 artifacts. So that's bait like an artifact is like a whole tree. So that's really good.
That's so cool.
Because as by 156, there's 11 artifact slots, so you've got a lot of options. 11 more filigree is really crazy, especially with the Blork and Florp set. It's so good. Uh, and then on top of this, you have also Chest Blessing. This would have a better animation in the future, not like a faster one, just a more cool looking one, so that way people want to wait for it. Um, and then of course, just a bunch of wacky stuff. It's really neat.
This is just so cool.
Yeah,
I love the archetype system so much because we can bend the rules so much. Like replacing a tree and replacing these feats and stuff like that. Like it's just such a it's just this is awesome. Like
Action Archaeologist. Damn, what a good name. Oh, this is
yeah.
so good.
Oh my gosh. We should do Batman next just to see how that would end up.
Yeah. So I this was a lot of fun. I will say that it was way more fun thinking about this than some of the universal trees because it's not like, oh, how does this work with every different class? Screw every different class. It's just how does this work with itself? And how do you make it work? I thought this is awesome. This is great. Um
yeah,
I definitely want to do more of these.
yeah, I'm really happy with it. I like the constrained design. Like you got to think about it. It's not just like, you know, what am I building? It's what am I building that would benefit this specific build. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um yeah, I think that having a very determined theme is very important for doing design for DDO. Like,
Yeah.
why did it have to be snakes? Makes literally no sense in this tree mechanically.
Yeah, it
Like, that
doesn't
is
make any sense.
non-synergistic. But they don't have any favorite weapon synergy, favorite enemy synergies.
Nope.
Um, saves versus poison, like, okay, you know what I mean? Anti-requisite snake blood, what? But like, yeah, top-down design. Exactly, man with hats. Like, that's
Exactly.
why top-down design is so important.
I'm a big believer in like the most important part to a movie is the title. The title is the most important part because if you know the title of the movie is like, here's a movie title, I'll be back later. I don't know what the movie's about, but now just boom, the idea flows out. We got the Indiana Jones up there, and then it flew out. Sorry, the character archaeologist who's an action archaeologist, not related to a Disney product.
Yeah, I'm just like
No, this
feeling
is
I'm feeling
fantastic.
really good about this.
Yeah, so I'm stoked for update 156. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, action archaeologist. If you would like to read this yourself, I'm just gonna blur out the screen here for a second. So we're gonna put us back here, get some links, and it has all of our information on screen. So I'm gonna deal with that. General access. So if you want to toy around with this yourself, you can. I'm gonna post the link in the chat here, and of course, in the future, there will be I'm going to post the video for this one. I did get a bing halfway through because I filled my hard drive with video because I should have checked that ahead of time. So the unfortunate reality is the only thing I have to cut out of this is our discussion about Hideo Kojima being both a video game character and a person because I don't have a recording of that.
That's really funny, because that's the one part that I was going to ask you after to edit out, because I think Hideo Kojima could absolutely destroy me in single combat.
Well,
Um,
also I don't want to be featured in his video game.
yeah, I
Just
no,
show up all of a sudden somewhere as like somebody that gets like executed. It's like, oh
like
geez,
that's how he puts things in Metal Gear Solid is you get kidnapped and then you end up in Metal Gear
yeah.
Solid.
I don't want to be
Turns
like
out,
in the next Strand game.
like,
That's it.
turns out you're a clone of Big Boss. Like, it's all the way down. Like,
Oh, and I love this character, action archaeologist. What a great
this is
idea.
great. Thank you for inviting me on this. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you for coming on Dungeons Developer Insights and talking about this. Thanks to everybody who watched in the chat. This was great. If you like this episode of Dungeon Developer Insights, leave us a comment below about what you think should be the next thing. We're totally going to do it. Maybe not, but I'm definitely going to read the comments. So do it. Help me out with that algorithm. And I think that's it. So see you next time on. I'm bad at this. Endings are the hardest thing ever. I hate them.